Yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh man. You're lucky this is 3 hours into the show because you just lost.
Some man
See,
of the people.
perhaps, like Geoff mentioned the last time, perhaps the strategy is to hold back to the last 10 minutes when nobody's listening anyway.
That's a good idea, actually. That is very savvy.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 4 picks against the spread, game preview, SUPERLOCKS, free money, and of course, a mini version of Cust Corner midway through the show. Sub to Mayo Media Network, smash the like button to the episode, and please leave those ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. The last one I saw when I went and checked in was a 1-star review because people were mad at Tim Undercust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name. Was not prepared to be introduced first. This is caught me off guard. Leave 5-star reviews. That's what we want. We want 5-star reviews or no reviews.
How about this
Nothing
one?
else.
1 star out of 5 on the Pat Mayo Experience. Cust is so self-entitled. Nobody cares how socially awkward you are.
But you think that you're so important that other people should hear your perspectives on my self-entitlement. Physician, heal thyself. Self-entitled. I'm sorry, I'm not the one commenting on iTunes message boards to be seen in my opinions.
Well,
Go back to your subreddit.
Well, the show does have a 4.9 out of 5 rating, and I would assume people just don't like the look of my face, but I guess they're audio listeners, so they can't leave those 1-star reviews. The video viewers, they're like, that guy has a punchable face. 1 star. The audio listeners may not know that, although they may know it now if they do see a picture of me. I would assume that people have seen a picture of me over time if they are subs to the podcast feed. Geoff Fienberg is here as well, coming off a big week with the Chargers winning. Fantastic news for you. We already did a Ryder Cup show with me, you, and Cam Stewart. That is up on the feed in the network right now. It's exciting times. It was a fun show.
Yeah, had a great time. I can't wait for the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup bleeding right into Sunday football should be phenomenal. What was that, like a 5:30 Eastern or 6 a.m. single start? It appears. So, yeah, can't wait. And there's a game in England. So crazy Sunday morning. I will do my best to be proactive and make sure I have that off.
That you have Sunday off?
Normally, being the okay dad that I am, I try to help out in the mornings on Sunday before I disappear all day. This one's going to be different because I kind of want to disappear from 6 a.m. So I don't know, maybe send them to my mom's or something. Got to figure that out. I got to get on that quick time.
Did you intentionally dress up as Akeem the African Dream on the Ryder Cup show?
I love our show. I love the internet. That was incredible. That was so good. I got to own that. Wearing my Sundin Sweden jersey and my your Team Europe Ryder Cup beanie. Like, I walked right into that. That was so good. And I got to say, that jersey is probably the biggest jersey I own. I don't know if I got that on a discount raise. Like, I'm a big guy, and that's probably 2 sizes too big. So it had that moo feel to it as well. And I walked right into it. And credit to whoever posted it, and that's why the internet rocks.
Tim,
Stuff like that.
Now that Geoff is wearing muumuus, do you think he's going to have one of those sticks to dial the phone?
Yes, he should, because his fingers will just mash the keypad if he tries to push in the buttons.
Speaking of dialing the phone, I got to put this out there. I want to say I feel like a lot of people didn't listen all the way to the end last week.
I mean, it's a 2.5 hour show. Like, I look at the retention rate of people coming in.
You don't even listen to the whole show.
I don't listen to the whole show. I'm here for the show.
I would, because people drew conclusions on last week's behavior, it seemed like, but they didn't even make, like, that was like a secret Marvel scene, Pat. What happened at the end of the last show? Better than those.
Listen, the people who vote in the Custy Awards, the people who take the time to go through and who know and are in the know, they watch till the very end. The casual people who aren't watching all 187 minutes, the show's longer than Oppenheimer is. That, I can see why people don't wait till the end of it.
No, I agree. I agree. But just, sort of catching some of the, getting railroaded in the feedback, and, it is what it is. I mean, on the show,
your stance of "I hate Christmas" from the Ryder Cup show is getting a lot of traction.
It was my opinion of the teams at Christmas doesn't mean anything. That's what I meant to say. Not fuck Christmas.
Tim, do you have any holidays that you want to call out as trash?
No, I support everybody's holidays, and I want them to have fun, enjoyable holidays. And if you like holidays, vote for Geoff, because Geoff hates holidays.
Yeah, Geoff hates holidays. Is there any religion you would like to take shots at, Geoff?
No. I appreciate an electorate that is just vote. Yeah, just vote. Be fair and balanced about it. Before we leave it entirely, we probably already did. Tim, do you have a Ryder Cup pick?
In terms of who's going to win, I think Europe wins by 2 points.
That's you can get a 12-1 on that 15-13 exact score. I don't mind it. You might have just cursed it. Who's going to play horrible, I guess, is what the people want to know.
I got a bad feeling about Brooks. I got a bad feeling about.
I walked into that too. First Hakeem, now that
you didn't have to ask him about anything. This didn't need to come up, Geoff. Now you're ruining all our bets.
I walked into it.
Oh, well,
I'm an idiot. I don't know whether he's trolling me on purpose, but I walked into that trap. I set a trap. I laid a piece of cheese out, and I walked into my own electrical fence.
You are like
I'm an idiot.
All you do is walk into rake after rake after rake. Look, they're already isolating him by putting out team pictures that he's not in. You tell me he's going to be super excited for this, and then I think Burns will play poorly. And I'm here to say I don't think JT is going to play well. He shouldn't be on the team. I'm not rooting against him, but I think he plays poorly. I think you see him Friday morning and then no more till Sunday.
Okay, let's get into football. Reminder to play in the Week 4 DraftKings Listeners League. It's filling up fast, and there's 3,500 spots. A lot of those are already gone. You can get your 3 down in the description right now. You can also get the link to the Ryder Cup DraftKings Listeners League. There's only 2,000 spots in that. I think it's half full already. That doesn't start till Friday, but you may as well get your team in right now and go check out that Ryder Cup show. Some hot Cam takes on that show, agreeing with Cust on things, although he felt very embarrassed about it, agreeing with Tim on some of this stuff. And LeagueSafe. Download the LeagueSafe app. You can find that link down in the description right now, too. The Week 4 $1,000 guaranteed prize pool is already up. There's the Pat Mayo Experience Question of the Week. It pertains to Monday Night Football in Seattle and the New York Giants. We'll talk about that once that game comes around at the end. But I didn't want to wait that long to let you know. It's a free game. It's a pick'em game. Takes less than 30 seconds. And there's $1,000 up for grabs. So if you don't want to invest any money on gambling or DraftKings, whatever it is, play on LeagueSafe or just do the other things and play that too and try to win more money. That seems pretty sensible. Last week was another week, the second week in a row, gents, that no one was under 500. I was 8-8, Geoff was 8-8, Tim was 9-7, and the coin won the week at 10-6. None of us are under 500 on the year. Tim is exactly 500 at 24-24. Geoff and I are both 25-23. The coin is winning at 26-22. We swept the SUPERLOCKS. San Francisco for me, New England for Geoff, and Miami. That was a good one. You could have played an alt spread on that one. One. So you're 3-0, Tim. You shut up. Mute him. 2-1 for Geoff, 2-1 for me. Cust did lose his teaser because Baltimore lost. He's 0-3 on the year, 21-123 for his career. But the biggest takeaway is I won Survivor, Geoff. It's over.
Not has it ever even lasted much longer than this? I'm the worst at Survivor ever. I will tell you, Pat, that I switched off of Jacksonville to pick San Francisco, thinking I was the smartest guy in the world. I still get railroaded by Dallas with my other team, where I actually play it for money. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are gone. But that was ugly. Good for you.
Well, Tim had a 50-50 shot of going perfect or not winning, and it turned out not winning hit instantly.
Hey, look, it's just as likely to fall heads or tails. It fell tails. Them's the breaks.
So you feel like if you had won last week that you were, if you get through the week that you lost, you were most definitely going perfect in your survivor pool?
Feel like it would have been like a 52% chance, better than 50%. Like we got closer and closer as we went.
All right.
As Dallas loses that game, like in retrospect, do you stand by that take or do you realize like that was so stupid?
No, I stand by I know what I said, and I stand by it. I was just as likely to lose as not lose, and I lost. So I mean, I don't feel bad about that. Look, did you call 100-1 long shot to win the U.S. Open, Geoff? Because I did.
He wasn't 100-1. He was 70-1.
At one point, he was 100-1. He went off at 90-1. Put it this way: you go ahead and cap the U.S. Open champion at 70-1, 80-1, 90-1, and then come back and ask me whether I hit a long shot probability or not.
Geoff gave out a Masters winner at 150-1.
Great. Which he credits me for, not himself.
I mean, I credit you for it too. I think the world credits you for it.
So then he doesn't have any. He's not trying to take a victory lap on that because he doesn't believe he had anything to do with it. He believes I did. So I don't know what that point was. Anyway.
You sound kind of angry here, like you don't understand math. Now you're pulling a cam, giving yourself bigger odds than it actually was on a big achievement anyway. Where are you going here?
I don't know why you call that a cam. Don't be mean to Cam.
Well, it's called a cam when you just make up odds and say that you have them. That's called a cam.
If Cam, I haven't listened to your show from yesterday, but if Cam is supporting me, I'm here to support Cam.
He talked about stealing 50 little jars of ketchup from a hotel.
50?
Yeah, because they left them out in the hallway.
He said whatever's on that cart is his.
And he brings an extra suitcase to pile it in.
God bless Cam. He's doing what he's doing.
But he accredited you. He agrees with you that you should be allowed to do that.
Oh, I believe you should be allowed to keep whatever is keepable in the room that which you bought for the night.
Oh, so you don't you don't venture out into the hallway and wait for the maid to go in and change one of the other rooms and just put everything into your suitcase?
I can honestly say I don't lay in wait, looking to ambush the housekeeping cart when my time. I have to say that is not something that I plan to do. No, but everything in that room that's yours, you should take, including the plastic bags, rid of the garbage can.
Most of us don't live like absolute degenerates, like apparently you do and Cam does. We can just buy.
Well, I think
we can buy a plastic bag. You're the everyman.
We're the everyman.
I mean, I'd say Cam is probably closer because he could probably, I don't know, call a restaurant and order some takeout.
I can do that. Sometimes.
Let's do it right now.
I know I'm not going to do it right now. We have a show to do.
Let's do it right now. It's part of the show.
I'll do it, but I'm not putting someone on speakerphone.
Then how do we know you're actually going to do it? Put yourself on video then while you're talking.
No, I don't want to go on. I told you I would do this Sunday, and you'd see me. I'd let you dial the number and hand the phone to me, so you know I wasn't lying.
Yeah, but this way, if you put them on speakerphone, we can beep out their end, and we can beep out your address. We can't do that on a live show, now can we?
Look, I'm not comfortable doing that. Let's just move on.
Geoff, why is he so scared?
I don't know, but this is like he's doing everything he can to not do it. Like he's making up reasons to not do it, it seems.
What if I told you that you could have all of the garbage bags in the studio when you can come in if you do it?
As sweet a deal as that is, I will pass.
Those are big garbage bags. Those are like 30 pounders that you can put in there. Industrial garbage bags. Imagine what you could do with those.
Happy as I was when you shipped me like all of your extra plastic forks and napkins from Toronto. Remember that? How happy I was?
I do. I mean, that wasn't my doing. That was Sam's doing. But either way, that's what she did for you.
I loved it.
Let's talk about Thursday Night Football. I'm very, very intrigued. Very intrigued by this game. It's a good Thursday night game. We've had a few decent. Amazon must have been like, hey, give us some games here, at least early. 46 is the total. Lions at Packers. Packers are a 1.5 underdog at home to the Lions. The Goof, not so hot outdoors. But I started to think about like the 3 weeks that we've seen some just games that you probably just completely throw out that, hey, it was an off week, and that's probably not going to be indicative of what this team does, either good or bad, for the rest of the season, or there might be another like wonky game somewhere down the line. But to take a look at the Packers, do we think the Packers are good or bad, or they're average, Geoff?
I mean, you're absolutely right. You
I didn't
sort
make
of
a- I didn't
take
make-
the teams, you see who they
I
beat.
didn't try to
you
make a point.
to fit-
I asked you do you think the Packers are good or not?
I do, but you're talking to the guy that picked them to win the NFC.
Okay, so you do. Tim, do you?
No, I didn't pick them to win the NFC. I think I took them to go to the NFC title game, win the division. I bought into all the preseason Packer hype, so I'm believing the Packers. Yeah.
I can't answer the question yet, to be honest with you, because they didn't have most of their guys last week. And they won, but it was a weird game, and they scored all their points when they had the ball for next to no time in the fourth quarter. They won the game. I think the jury is still out as to whether they're good or not. I'm not.
How do you lean?
I'm right down the middle. Right down the middle, and I need to see more.
Rank the division, though.
Rank the division? Okay. Well, Detroit 1, Green Bay 2, Minnesota 3, Chicago 4.
It's probably different than you would have ranked it a month ago.
I think that's how I ranked it a month ago.
Yeah, that or you had Minnesota above Green Bay, but that's the way that
Awesome.
you had the division. Yeah.
But Minnesota and Chicago are train wrecks in their own way.
Yeah, but as we just discussed,
Minnesota's a fun train wreck. Chicago's sad.
Yeah, Minnesota's not bad. They're just losing games. Chicago's bad.
Yeah, Minnesota's just getting what they deserve from last. Like the regression has come home to roost, sort of thing for the Vikings. Chicago's just atrocious. I like this game. I think it's weird. Geoff's sort of a historian of the game. These two teams also play on Thanksgiving this year. I wonder if two teams have ever played both of their games against each other in division, both on Thursdays. That's really weird that that both of their games are Thursday games versus each other. I don't ever remember that. And they've done Thursday Night Football now since 2006 on a regular basis. And I don't think we've ever seen this. I don't know. I like the game, but I don't know how to pick the game. I think it's a very smart spread. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. I'm sorry. I'm like Switzerland on this game and on Green Bay. I'm hard to bet on it, but I will side with who I think has got the better quarterback and playmakers right now, and that's Detroit.
I'm taking Detroit as well, -1.5. And like I said, I can see that Goff is much better indoors than outdoors. I don't have a read on, because the whole point of the Green Bay question is I don't have a read on them whatsoever. They beat the crap out of Chicago. Great. They're not good. They might be the worst team in the league. Then they go and lose to the Falcons, who I have no idea if they're good or not, by a point. And then they beat the Saints by a point, but the Saints might be absolute trash too. Like
after their quarterback got hurt and in weird circumstances.
Still, it's these super close games. So their defense is at least playing well enough, I suppose, against Desmond Ridder and Jameis Winston. Well, they couldn't contain poor Derek Carr before he blew his shoulder out. But I don't know. I think they're kind of fool's gold. Like Jordan Love's, he's thrown for like 198 yards, but 3 touchdowns. Like something has to give here. Maybe if Christian Watson ends up playing and Aaron Jones looked awesome in week 1. But again, that was against the Bears. That's just going to happen every single week. Is Bakhtiari going to come back and all of a sudden they can run the ball far more effectively? Because they haven't been able to do that since he's been out. And they have a defense beating up on shit quarterbacks. Like it's really hard to wrap my mind around it. So I'm with you, Tim, on this one. And I'll throw it to you, Geoff, because I just think the Lions are a better team.
I'm really impressed with the Lions last week and all the injuries that they had, and they really did take it to Atlanta. I'm going to take the Packers here, but I think this is a field goal game. Like I think the Lions win a close one or the Packers win a close one. In terms of our show, the Packers have been the most unlucky team to pick with the spread versus where you get it versus where it goes off.
It was 1.5 last week. When we did the show last week, it was Packers by 1.5, and obviously they win by 1.
Yeah, and the week before was before the crazy Atlanta game line reversal that they covered on. I'm taking the Packers. Pat, irrelevant, but you don't like. You mentioned you don't watch a ton of primetime. Even when you do, you're probably never listening to the commentators, are you?
No. I mean, it's not that I don't watch primetime. I just don't watch the primetime games in primetime. I watch them the next morning.
Yes, sorry, I could have said that better.
But no, I don't listen to the fucking commentary. Tim, I marvel with Tim every single week, just with the one game that we watched when it was like the Mark Sanchez and whoever the fuck the guy was calling the game with him joke show last week during the game that we were, the Chargers game. It's like, what is this?
Awful.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez was really into the game.
I enjoyed when his buddy his commentator kept talking about all the good quarterbacks USC had in the past. Yeah,
Just
like
grilling
Carson
him.
Palmer, John David Booty, and Sam Darnold. There were some good quarterbacks at USC. I was like, is this real? Is this fake? What's going on?
I like
You like
I like the vibe though. I like the vibe on it. It was completely non-serious, which was perfect for Chargers Vikings.
Yeah, and Mark Sanchez went through the roof when he called out the double pass for the Keenan to Mike touchdown. Tim, do you like the Thursday night the Al Michaels Herb Street booth?
No, I don't. I was saying to Pat, I think what Fox should do is sell Brady to Amazon, rent him out the way ABC rents out Herb Street, and let Brady do Thursday Night Football next year to get into it, because that booth has no chemistry, no energy. Al doesn't seem super excited. Herb Street doesn't know anything with the NFL. No, it's a bad booth, which is funny because the pre and halftime show crew are great. I think the Thursday night crew with Whitworth and Richard Sherman and Tony G and all those guys,
Fitzmagic?
that's a great. Fitzpatrick, I think that's a really good booth. I think actually the things they have to say are insightful and interesting and funny, and they have chemistry. And the play-by-play is just, oh man, this is bad.
So I can't recall if we spoke about this on the show, because I know that we spoke about it this weekend. And if it's a topic that's been broached before, Geoff, you can cut me off. But we were talking about the pregame shows while we were watching, because Tim showed up a bit early and we just had Fox on. It's been like the same people for 20 years, and Michael Strahan is there. It seemed like Nate Burleson's the only guy on CBS who's just kind of there. Other than that, it's the same people that have just been there. Is that because the only people that would ever watch one of these things are like 80 years old and you can't switch it up on them, or they might be too freaked out? Because I don't think that they should take Greg Olsen off the main game. I think that Greg Olsen's really good. They're just going to put in Brady, who has no color commentary experience, and just shunt off Greg Olsen for a guy. I mean, everyone thought Jason Witten was going to be great. I mean, who knows if Tom Brady's going to be great or not? I think they're better off on Fox just having like Brady, Gronk, and Michael Strahan as their pregame show.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak to those morning pregame shows because I don't watch any of them, but we also grew up loving them because we didn't have the internet and YouTube. Like, you didn't just get the game previews you wanted all week. I don't know about the booths. I feel less interested in booths as I'm older, as I watch games on all the TVs, and I don't really hear anything over my friends talking.
Would it be worth it that you can watch Red Zone and you can go in and out of games? Would it be worth it to have a Red Zone commentary channel that's not Scott Hansen? It's like a podcast going on as people watch all the games at once and then comment on what's going on Red Zone?
Be like a Mystery Science Theater 3000, but for Red Zone.
I mean, that's basically what we do for the golf cut sweat show.
Yeah, I actually
except I'm not in space and I didn't build robots with my breathing materials. So there's no crow. Yeah, anytime that we can just do Mystery Science Theater or anything, I'd be all in on it. But I just, if Red Zone is going to be frankly, I don't want to say it's the predominant way that people watch football, but I mean, if you only had one TV to watch, maybe Tim's the wrong answer on this, but if the Chargers weren't playing or the Jets weren't playing, to both of you, and you were at an airport, you were able to stream one thing on your phone, wouldn't you just stream Red Zone?
100%.
100%.
Unless I had a play of the year type bet on a specific game, 100% Red Zone.
I agree that I think any football fan would answer the same thing. If their team wasn't playing, it's Red Zone.
I don't know if every football fan would say the same. I think every football fan under a certain age may say the same.
Interesting.
Yeah, because there's my buddy Derek, for example. He loves the Vikings. Doesn't really bet on football. Actually, he bet on Justin Jefferson to be Offensive Player of the Year last year. So it's the only bet he's ever made. So big winner there. Knows when to quit. But if the Vikings are on, he'll watch the Vikings. If not, he'll watch whatever the local in-market game is on CBS that day.
Which is always either just for us New England or the Giants.
Yes.
My dad is very much like that. He'll just he's happy to watch America's Game of the Week. Does not care. That's the game. It's a game.
I'll watch some of the pregame stuff at the gym from time to time, but it's usually the ESPN one, only because I want to see Schefter read the inactives. That's it. And I can get that on Twitter 8 seconds later anyway.
Yeah, I don't have a nostalgia really for them that much. I used to, when I was 14, 15, it was the Fox show I used to watch for no other reason than that's just the one I used to watch. But now, I mean, I actually think they're more useful on Sunday Night Football and Thursday Night Football when there's nothing else. And like they're sort of going through what has happened or what's anyway. But yeah, I think your idea of having Brady and one other person with a studio host on Fox would serve them better than the
There's no
buffet.
guarantee Brady ends up doing it in the end.
Man, he's getting paid like $150 million. He lost all that Bitcoin money.
Yeah, but a lot of it is he also signed like this other role with, he's like a Fox ambassador. I guess he's boys with Lachlan.
Well, I did tell Tim that maybe they'll take him off football and just put him on Fox News and he can start his presidential run.
He's
He'd be
the
great.
guy that Fox is essentially paying Brady, I think, to send him. Once they have like a sponsor and almost sponsorship thing, they send Brady to, make a handshake and then get their deals done. Like he's an ambassador for Fox.
Yeah, but they do want him on play-by-play, but I don't think that you can just give him the main give him America's Game of the Week with a guy who has no experience. Now, maybe he's taking this year and he's going to go into training, whatever it might be. I proposed to Tim that maybe it's a decent spot for Fox to have 2 A games. You have the early A game and the late A game, and you pair Brady up with, I don't know, go hire Mike Tirico away from NBC or whoever it might be. Like a very established play-by-play guy, and then you can really highlight one of the early games, and then you still have America's Game of the Week at the same time. And if he sucks, you can kind of pull the plug on it.
I think the floor on Brady is pretty high.
Why?
On how bad.
How
like,
many
the floor on
how
bad
many
he-
consecutive words have you ever seen Tom Brady speak?
A lot. I watched some of his like speeches that he probably gets paid a gazillion dollars to make at corporate events.
Why are you watching the speeches he makes at corporate events?
No, it's gone viral. Like this clip of him saying he was friends with nobody. He can't stand it. He even sees golfers and caddies shaking hands. Everyone's an enemy. You're playing for the name on like the team name and your family, and that's it. And if you're not, he hates you. It's not that I like go search them, but a lot of these clips from these things have gone viral.
Well, he sounds super pleasant.
And then once it gets in your algo, it's like, oh my God.
I'd love to know what's in your Rumble algo.
I'm not even on that anymore because YouTube seems to have like really been lenient on taking out of the good content that I like.
Well, they
No, like YouTube used to a lot of these
I love
break
that.
copyrights. They seem to be not taking it down as fast. So all my stuff's back on the YouTube. I love YouTube.
You're starting to sound like Tim.
I'm okay with that.
Does that mean you're really venturing into the insanity?
No, I mean I like calling those. I like sounding old when I use any form of that, like the Instagram, the Facebook. It's all
The TikToks. So Detroit for Tim and myself, Green Bay for Geoff and the Coin. Let's go to jolly old London. Atlanta at Jacksonville. The Jags are favored by 343 is the over-under. Not quite sure if Zay Jones is going to play. It seems like Etienne's going to be fine. Not confirming that, but just the sense that I get from some of the early reports. And we'll have some early information on this for fantasy and everything like that because it's going to be much earlier than the other ones. Going head-to-head with the Ryder Cup. What do you think gets better ratings, Tim? This NFL game or the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, really. It's not even remarkably close.
I
It'll be
know.
this game.
Do you see?
I don't know what channel. I don't know what channel it's on though.
I mean,
you think
in
this
Canada,
is on a streamer or something?
In Canada,
Yeah,
it'll be on
it might-
TSN.
Oh, yeah, in Canada, yeah, of course. There's one in the
Because the
States.
Ryder Cup will be on NBC by Sunday by singles time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Will they preempt Meet the Press for it?
for the
I
The
don't
Ryder
know.
Cup.
yeah.
Will they? Did they 4 years ago? The last time it was in Europe?
I don't know. Which one's Meet the Press?
I think it's on
Meet
NBC
me.
during Meet the Press on Sunday.
Okay, fair enough. I'll trust you on that.
Maybe it's on the Peacock so they could drive signups.
Yeah, I think that'd be a bad idea.
They're putting one of the playoff games on Peacock, if memory serves.
Yeah, one of the playoff games. And people will go. here's the thing. When you have golf ratings and they're not bad, but they're not high like the NFL is, like people, it's why Amazon can get away with having a Thursday night game and pay so much for it, because people, it's like heroin. People need their NFL on Thursday nights. They need their NFL games. They will go sign up for this shit. The casual dude who's tuning into the Ryder Cup to see if the U.S. is winning and, I don't know, the Midwest somewhere isn't going to be like, man, I need the cock right now because I need to see who wins the Ryder Cup. No, there's not going to watch.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I like Jacksonville.
I
in this
was
game,
joking. I was joking about that. Although we're spoiled in Canada with some of the not having to not deal with some of that sports wise.
I like Jacksonville in this game -3. I think it's a nice get right spot for Jacksonville. Very accustomed to playing in London. They're there for back-to-back weeks. I'm sure the Cons have really shelled out for something very nice for their accommodations over there. And just, I don't believe in this Falcons team at all. Ritter sucks so much that, again, if there wasn't Zach Wilson in the league, that, you know, we'd be saying, like, this guy is terrible. Like, the Falcons might have a shot if they start playing Heineke, but there's only so many times that you can throw the ball 8 feet behind your intended receiver.
Oh, really? Somebody has come aboard SS Heineke. It's about damn time. Too little, too late. Sorry, there's no room on that bus.
What are you
It's
talking
full.
about?
Do you have amnesia? We spent an entire year bickering about whether Heineke was a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. The Wentz who can't get a job anymore in the NFL versus Heineke, who you are now calling to be the starter in Atlanta.
I think he's better than Desmond Ritter. I don't see
And
how
he's
that's the
always
same
better
conversation.
than Wentz.
And that wasn't the argument. That was the argument that you were having. And as Paul can attest to, as people who watch live on Sunday night, you make up things in your mind and then think that people have said them. And then you get
made
upset.
this comment. Somebody backed me up on this. It was
Please
Cam who
mute
said
him.
onion
I'm
rings.
trying to finish my point. Either way, what I said about Heineke is Heineke doesn't make you any good if you're Washington last year. You're not winning anything with Heineke. That was my point. And I don't think that Atlanta is going to win anything with Heineke, but they're actively bad with Desmond Ritter. Like, they need to move on and try something else. If not, they can trade Heineke to the Jets for you. Who might
take him. And it was Cam who mentioned that onion rings get destroyed in an air fryer. I didn't make that up. Thanks whoever the commenter was who noticed that. Thank you. I did hear that somewhere.
Are you sure Cam said it, or did this guy could be lying?
As soon as he said it, I reminded him.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
As soon as he said it, oh yeah, it was that guy. It wasn't Paul.
I knew I
who I
heard it
stared
on
at
one of
when
the-
I said that Paul told me this.
One of the voices on Mayo Media Network said it, and I couldn't remember who. Sorry.
We still don't know if that's true or not. I'm taking Jacksonville in this game. Like I said, I think it's get right. I think Atlanta's overrated. I don't look forward to Bijan Robinson running for 350 yards and making me look stupid, but here we are. I'll bet on Jacksonville -3.
No, I think Jacksonville does not deserve to lay points. I can't lay points with them the way they've played all season. I can't do it on a neutral field. I will take Atlanta.
It's not a neutral field.
Pure
It's
spite.
It's
It
a
is a
home
neutral.
game. It's a home game.
It's a neutral field.
The Jags may have more
pure spite.
fans in London than they do in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's probably true. I would concede that point.
So it's
That's
more
not
of a home
true.
game than it would normally.
No,
be.
I still don't think it is, and Jacksonville has been the most disappointing team in the NFL this season through 3 weeks, and I am not laying points with them. So
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I just look at it, Geoff, and I think, yeah, I agree that Jacksonville's been supremely disappointing. But when you have Lawrence versus Ritter, just give me Lawrence.
Yeah, so if you're spoiled, or I don't even know if you're spoiled anymore, it seems like most people have a setup where you're watching multiple games at once. It's like when you're watching the whole league play at the same time on Sunday, no one makes worse throws than Desmond Ritter. You're watching 14 quarterbacks do battle at the same time. His throws look the worst. Zach Wilson might be the dumbest, maybe, but the throws of Ritter actually look the worst. Jacksonville at home, as Pat would say. Their run defense. Atlanta's going to try to run the ball. Jacksonville's good at stopping the run. Jacksonville at home.
in the world's greatest stadium through 2028.
It
Correct.
is. It is at Wembley. This one.
I thought this was at your buddy, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
No, I made that mistake yesterday as well. Jake corrected me. This one's at Wembley. It's next week. I think it's
It's at Wembley, the good stadium. Okay.
Is it the good stadium?
I'm not debating what's good, what's bad. I'm just telling you what's factual.
But Wembley's the most famous stadium in all of England.
Sure.
Yeah, Wembley's more famous than a stadium that was built 4 years ago for Tottenham, who I don't know footy.
Wembley is Rose Bowl, and the Tottenham one is like SoFi.
Yeah, and everyone would want to play at SoFi.
Tottenham's like a loser team that has good players but never wins. I'm familiar with those sorts of teams. I like the Leafs, the Blue Jays, the Chargers. But no, yeah, it's not as famous as Wembley freaking Stadium.
Yeah, I think people would rather play at SoFi, Tim. That's why they do stuff there now.
Yeah, except for like the Rose Bowl.
No, I'm saying people would rather play at SoFi.
I get it.
Yes, they don't play the Rose Bowl at SoFi Stadium.
Yes, you're right. They don't play the actual game, the Rose Bowl, at SoFi. They play it at the Rose Bowl.
They moved the Cotton Bowl out of the Cotton Bowl to AT&T Stadium, and the Cotton Bowl is still there. They still play football on it. They moved it out of there.
Does that mean this is going to be cursed, and now the Rose Bowl will be played at SoFi? Does the Rose Bowl even mean anything anymore? Like, it's not like the Big Ten's playing the Pac-10.
No, well, the Rose
This
Bowl
is like the last year. This is actually really sad. The granddaddy of them all. I don't even know what. I guess it just becomes a playoff game with.
It becomes a quarterfinal. Yeah, it becomes a quarterfinal in perpetuity after this. Yeah, which is sad.
The Rose Bowl's the best.
It's the best college football game. It has to be. Big Ten, Pac-10. That's New Year's Day.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the 3 finest sporting events of the year.
I don't know about that. But do you think that the winner of the Big 28 will play the winner of the Pac-2 next year?
I can't wait to see USC and Rutgers, face off in a Big Ten tilt. That's really smart. It's really smart. College football is going to be so dumb next year. Anyway,
Why do you even have the divisions? Just let everyone play everyone. Who cares?
Because I think they have legal tie-ins with all these bowls that would be impossible or next to impossible to break.
Okay. Let's go to Sunday. We got some real games here. This one's a real game. Miami and Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 3. 53.5 is the over-under in this game. I'm very much looking forward to this. We know what the main TV game is going to be this week. We may get some extra Dolphins fans. Our Dolphins fans' friends are recruiting other Dolphins friends to come over and watch the game with you, Tim.
Well, they should have watched it last week because that was a 1 week only emotional support of the Miami Dolphins. I am right back on cheering against them. They should.
But you hate the Bills too.
I despise the Bills, but let's be clear. There's a hierarchy of my enmity. It's Patriots. That's always
it's Sean Payton. Sean Payton's now number 1.
No. The Patriots are permanent number 1. Then there is a rotating cast of characters amongst other. The Bills and Dolphins are in there, and then other teams can come in and come out. Some years it's been Jacksonville. Other years it's been other teams. Right now it's definitely the Denver Broncos, and one of the worst coach teams I've ever seen in football history. But my ordering right now, I don't look anything like that character. The ranking is right now: Patriots 1, obviously. Broncos, Dolphins, Bills in terms of my enmity. So I just look at the ranking, and ranking tells me that I hate the Dolphins more than I hate the Bills. Therefore, I got to cheer for the Bills. I think it's a bad line. I think that this should not be 3 points. I don't quite understand it. The Dolphins have been better than Buffalo in every phase of the game so far.
I would not say they've been better defensively.
I don't know. I think they might be.
Why?
They might be better defensively.
Why
do you
think? Why do
17.
Okay, the Patriots.
They played one bad defensive game. Well, so did Buffalo. Buffalo had a team without a quarterback beat them. So tell me how good of a game that was.
Well, I mean, they lost on a special teams touchdown in overtime. They didn't give up any points in that game.
Shouldn't even gone to overtime. Oh no, they shouldn't even gone to overtime. Anyway, you look at these two squads. The Dolphins, I think, are better at just about everything, but I can't pick them. I just got to pick Buffalo here.
If Buffalo was
hold on. Why do you have to pick Buffalo? Although Miami is better at everything, apparently.
Because it would be disingenuous for me to pick the Dolphins and cheer against them.
Okay.
So I'm going to make the honest pick, which is that I want Buffalo to win. So I'm just going to pick Buffalo.
All right, Geoff, I think Miami might go in there and ruin them this week.
I don't think Tim is being genuine.
Why?
If Buffalo was 3-0 and Miami was 2-1, I think you would just pick you just want Miami to lose a game. What's your father's name?
Doug.
Doug, it must start feeling like 72, he's saying to his son, Tim. Okay? And you will you don't want that. You don't want that. You resent that. Where are you going for dinner on Sunday?
Don't go out to dinner on Sundays.
Oh, I thought you go to Doug's or you go to your
No,
grandma's.
I have dinner on Sundays with Patrick because we watch football.
He does the live show with me every Sunday.
Well,
we'll chat about it Monday, and going into Thanksgiving the week after, I'm sure it'll be a topic. But look, they have Dallas to get through, Washington to get through. They have to play the Bills again.
Washington.
Dallas, Philadelphia. Sorry, is what I meant to say. Dallas, Philadelphia. They do have Washington, but I don't care about that. Dallas, Philadelphia. They'll get Buffalo again. If the Jets can get right, they have the Jets twice. Like, there are games. They have to play the Patriots again, who played them super close. Let's just be honest. The Dolphins won 24-17 in week 2, and the Patriots had the ball with a chance to tie or win. So, like, let's put the 72 Dolphins comments on a bit to the side. The offense is playing great, but they scored 70 points against one of the worst coached teams in NFL history. So let's, these things happen.
Paul?
I need Buffalo to win this week.
why do you really need Buffalo to win this week?
Because it would delight me to see Miami lose.
Paul,
Yeah, you don't like that Miami fans are happy and they're talking about a big
I don't want them
picture.
happy. I don't want them happy.
Okay, well, Paul has something to say with his team being involved in this game.
I think Tim's trying to railroad me and my bet. Because
That's right.
On Twitter, I saw that with his season's debt, all I have left is cheering against Denver and Buffalo and living vicariously through your team. So, what's real here, Tim? Are you worried about that $500?
Yeah, that was from yesterday.
Now that you got Simeon, you're a little worried there, bud. Feels like you're hearing footsteps. Well, I mean, I'm not hearing footsteps, but you're behind me now after a week 1 win where you made a meme and tried to mock me. Where are we at now?
I did mock you, and it was glorious. I want your team to lose a lot, but Geoff sort of diagnosed it. I have a few games on the schedule where the Dolphins can trip up, but I kind of need it to happen as soon as possible so I don't have to hear about the 72 Dolphins. And
I mean, is anyone actually talking about the 70? Besides Geoff just making a joke about it, does anyone even brought that up? Does anyone seriously think the Dolphins are going undefeated?
Only 3 undefeated teams left. Like, it's going to happen, and soon. And if it's Miami...
What's Reddit saying?
I can't even.
That's not fair. Whenever they lose a game, you're on there.
I can't even go into Dolphins Reddit. I couldn't. After they scored 70 points, and look, God bless them. They did what I needed them to do and then some. But I just couldn't. I can't see them happy. I'm not interested in seeing them happy.
I can't believe that's in your division and you could still take your hypothetical Super Bowl.
I not only can I'm going to take a hypothetical Super Bowl. My team is in every game they're playing, and they don't have a quarterback. Well, we brought Trevor Siemian in. That's great. Problem
I'm
solved.
with Pat. I think Miami, I don't know where they're going to slow up. At this point, it's one of those things where I'm happy to be wrong. I don't mean happy. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not going against Miami until I see anybody be able to somewhat contain them. And I don't doubt Buffalo could do what the Chargers did.
Patriots
score with them and keep it a really close game or try to match them score for score. But I even replay that Charger game in my head. They could have scored 55. Last week when, credit for Tim, it was his super lock, but said the only thing worse than being 0-2 when talking about Denver was being 0-2 and having to play Miami. I'm taking Miami. Get-in price for that ticket is insane. Insane.
Well, I'm on Dolphins Reddit right now, and it has the NFL.com power rankings for the teams, Tim, and it has the Dolphins at number 1 with people just putting in, "We own the NFL," Dolphins emojis.
God.
Oh, here's how great was Tua's no-look shovel pass for a touchdown?
It was right-handed, too.
As a reminder, Tua has as many right-handed TD passes as Zach Wilson. That's an actual post.
Yes. Through 3 weeks, it is indisputable. The Dolphins are the best team in the NFL. It is indisputable that Tua is the MVP. It's indisputable that they are a number one seed. That through 3 weeks, they have been the best team in the AFC. No one denies this. The question is, like, how long can they keep it up for?
I agree. And like, this is what we had spent a little bit of time on the recap show. People should tune in Sunday nights. You got nothing to do in between games. Tune into Mayo Media Network. Watch Tim burn his hand on food every single week somehow. Oh, there you go. That's the only thing the Jets hat is good for right now is to eat these shoestring fries out of.
Oh my goodness. I'm like Unky Mo putting these fries in my boiling hot hat.
These are very hot. How do they look? They look crispy?
They sound crispy.
They're probably extremely
they're
hot,
extremely
you moron.
hot. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Ouch. Look, I got a blister on my finger.
You do it. He just poured them out of the...
Yeah,
It is.
very
It is the
strange.
standard dip. My God, this is hot.
It just finished. What, do you think it was going to come out cold? All right, we got 7 right now. By the time we get to game 7,
All right.
we'll have more.
All right,
I'll start.
Thursday night football. We've got the Minnesota Vikings
Oh
at
my
the
God,
Philadelphia Eagles. You're right there, kid.
I did not anticipate we still going.
I think it's Tim's turn first, so.
The skin is peeling off my finger, by the way.
Blister
Peeling
boy.
off.
No, I mean, listen, I don't think it's going to go. I think Miami is far more real than fake. But if someone's like, doesn't this remind you of Arizona from 2 years ago? They're 6-0, and everyone was like making them kings of the world.
This reminds me of Miami from last year.
I don't know. I'm getting 99 Rams vibes.
Tua is so, if he's healthy, he is so lethal and efficient. And Pat, there are 2 tiers of offense in football right now. It's this Shanahan, McDaniel, 49er tree, 49ers, Dolphins. Guys run wide open. They get yards for free. And then there's other degrees of the other tier, but it's the rest of us living and dying for every yard. And they just can do it for free. Yards, yards, yards. Free.
Yeah, like if the Niners are in fourth down, they need a first down. They don't run fullback draw.
We're a shit show, man.
It's funny because if those games flip the other way, because the Chargers could have won week 1 against the Dolphins, they most definitely went to overtime in week 2 and could have won. That if the Chargers were also 3-0, Herbert would be second in the MVP right now. It's just they're 1-2, so he's not.
You sure? I mean, I can think that in my alone time, but
no, but like
that's
to
not the
look at
reality.
the numbers.
We don't win on margins.
No, I understand that, but to look at his numbers objectively, like he's been the second best quarterback in football.
Yep, he's been stupendous.
But he's a
What
loser.
crazy-
He doesn't have it is the problem, and then you can't teach that. Tua has it, but Herbert doesn't.
It is a competent coach.
Would you imagine
Listen,
that
maybe
when,
it's
when
both
Tua
Tua
wins,
and Herbert? Maybe Tua and Herbert are both he and him. Like,
well, I mean,
yeah.
Herbert made the playoffs once, and he got up by a lot, and then he lost. I mean, Tua's leading his team to the playoffs. He wasn't even playing last year. That's how good of a leader he is.
I'm very excited for this game.
who's got Trump now?
And yeah,
Yes,
Trump's in his corner. What did Trump say? He's a very tremendous fan of mine, Tua.
And it's a picture from like 9 years ago.
Probably like when they was he in the White House when they won the national championship? Like he probably visited the White House when Alabama won the national championship, and that's probably where the photo's from.
I mean, that's how big Tua is getting right now. That Trump is taking credit for knowing Tua.
Tua's playing great.
Hold on. I just want to wait till when you guys, Tim was more in the anti-Tua camp than Geoff was, but Geoff laughing how great Herbert is over Tua. Imagine that this all reverses and like, oh my God. It's like, I can't believe the Chargers didn't get Tua.
Well, we didn't have the pick, so it was never.
But you
in
laughed.
our hands.
You laughed, and you didn't want it.
I laughed. How could you not? I wasn't the only one. I mean, listen, I laughed with a clear bias to like, holy shit, I might have won this draw. Other people who didn't have the bias that I did, I'm not even talking about Tim. Like people get paid like from all corners, from the guys talking heads on TV that some people know and respect or don't respect, to just jabroni football fan with no bias in it. We're laughing. So I'm laughing now. It's kind of been obvious. If Tua is healthy, he is lethal and efficient. And this, I'm going to say something, and now it could be spun as a knock. I don't mean it like this at all. But McDaniel and Shanahan are so genius that, like, Tua's better than Brock Purdy, and it's like the highest level of quarterback play we've seen in this system. Even if Tua had to miss a game or two, I don't think the Dolphins would miss a beat. And this isn't a Mike White Hall of Fame joke. It is, I still think the guys would be wide open, just like they're wide open for Brock Purdy, who's QB3.
I would say that, yes, the Dolphins offense would miss a beat without Tua. That'd be my take.
No,
Unlike
would it
yours.
be? I mean, like, for the 2 games. I don't mean, like,
We saw this last year without Tua. Their offense wasn't quite clicking anymore.
Okay, can I tell you something about the Dolphins? And the Chargers ate that smoke right out of the exhaust in week 1. Mike McDaniel's first year there, and with all the motion, there was so much pre-snap penalty and pre-snap problem there. They are perfection now. They are perfection. At least in this moment in September, it's a different, they're so much better than they were a year ago, even with your example of it's kind of like the Dolphins of last year. I disagree. Now, maybe I've already done something crazy in this show, but I'm going to beat it right now because it's that time. I am picking Miami, but I will flip this pick if the Bills do what is necessary.
And play Hamlin?
It is a huge game.
They've been
Run
saving
him out
him?
the tunnel. Dress him. Play him. Run him out the tunnel. This is the game. This is the big comeback player of the year game. It's a pick 'em. You can't sit Hamlin and let Tua go all over the map. I like this. I like what you guys are about.
If Hamlin plays this game and somehow gets a pick of Tua, is it over?
Oh, it's over. It's over. I'll concede. But, Pat, here's the thing. Sometimes there are perfect strikes that get thrown. When you think of a perfect strike that gets thrown, what comes to your mind? Maybe like George Bush after 9/11, Yankee Stadium.
No, I think about the guy, the guy who is the man, or whatever the fuck he said, the bowling guy.
Paul Weber.
That's what I think of when I think of perfect strike.
You're not. It's not you. I am.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Twitter gif, by the way, is when he looks at the camera and goes, "That's right," as he's nodding his head. Best gif ever.
I must have spun myself into such a pretzel. But Pat Mayo, you are a genius, because I could throw a perfect strike and you could turn it into like no credit, and this guy's insane. And maybe that's all true.
No
But
one
Tim,
was no. Hold on.
no,
hold on. No one really disputed your take on Damar Hamlin and the odds. That was a perfectly salient point. Your point of the moment you said it's not that big of a deal, he started breathing again. He became kind of crazy. It's not that impressive.
No, it was
he
more
didn't
like
die.
All he said was all he had to do was wake up.
And yeah, that seems crazy. You see that,
There are
right?
Pardon? The last one?
You see that's crazy, right? Like why that seems
No,
out
it was
there?
part of the argument. It was part of the context of the argument. And people, this is all betting. Like, here's the thing. If you found out
now you're all
that-
riled up about it again. Now you're going to say something even crazier.
Let him talk.
If you found out you were on your phone, you were on your phone at that perfect moment where you see that something, no, taking that back, because that's not a perfect moment. Something bad happens. What I was going to say was perfect moment. Like when we found out Brett Favre had COVID and he wasn't going to play in a game, not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago and had COVID, and you're around your computer, you're like, oh my God, I got to bet the Chiefs send Mahomes at a pick'em. It's gambling is just different. Like it's irrelevant to some of that other thing, that stuff. If a player has to miss a game because something tragic happened and you have a chance to go bet a horrible line, you can make fun of me, but you're going to bet that line. You will, if you can, and you can beat the book to it. So I don't know. It's week 4.
I want
Jeff, 100%. Jeff
It's
would have 100% would have been in favor of the year in your fantasy league where someone traded a player to you who he thought had passed away.
I believe in death swag.
See?
No. I think what Tim is trying to say, because this happened to me, was I had proposed a trade at one point. It was someone who was like Julius Jones and Donald Driver for T.O. at some point during fantasy. And it was the time that T.O. OD'd, and it was reported that he was dead, and the guy who had T.O. went and accepted my trade.
What I'm saying is that Jeff would have accepted that trade because, like, it's football, man. You got to beat the books. So, like, you got to get that trade, right?
Well, the funny thing is, because that bad karma on him, I ended up with T.O., and he was awesome the rest of the year. And I won, so that was fantastic. I want to take a poll here. What do you think was the example that Jeff was going to use, Tim?
I don't know.
I want to know in the comment. I want to know in the comment section from the people where you think Jeff was originally going with that.
Here's a perfect day. Oh no, something horrible happened. I could start throwing out dates, but it would all be terrible. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, if it's a date that people know off the top of their heads, usually it's probably not one you want to equate with this sentence. I just think that Miami was close enough to beating Buffalo in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson last year in this offense. I think it's just going to give the Bills fits. Although I think that when I spoke about the week 1 aberration teams, I think we're going to look back at week 1 with Buffalo and just be like, what happened here? And I know they haven't played anyone since, but their defense actually looks really good.
Yeah, they look great. They look like they've solidified the ship. I hope that game is amazing. I don't know if it's real money on the Dolphins, but I can't pick against them on a beautiful, perfect weather day at Orchard Park.
Well, this is the whole thing. What happens if this game is in December and it's snowing? What do we think about the Dolphins then? And I know it's not, but they're eventually probably going to have to play outdoors in the cold, in elements, and I think that it's not going to be great. It might be good.
4 of their last 5 games in Miami.
I mean, but that doesn't. But you can get Miami games that have terrible weather too. Like, how does this? How does this offense
Honestly,
run in non-ideal conditions?
I don't know. Obviously, not as well. But given the construction of the Buffalo Bills and how soft they are, I actually think that the better the weather, the better it is for Buffalo.
Okay. I mean, we've talked for ages the past 3 years how the Bills are essentially a dome team that plays outside.
Yeah. So I would.
The Dolphins are going to get flexed.
This is the game. The Bills get them.
Once the flexing is allowed, which is earlier, like way earlier in the season this year, I bet you the Dolphins are going to get in there a bunch. Like,
oh, they're fun, man. They're so fun to watch.
Watching that.
The Bills are the same way. Yeah. That's why this is like the game. This is by far the best game of the year so far on paper going into it. Like, both these teams are fun to watch because Josh Allen's just bound to do something crazy, good or bad. So that's exciting. And the Dolphins in general, they're just so fucking fast. They're exciting. And I do worry about Miami's defense that I don't know if they're going to be able to stop Buffalo.
Okay, that's true. And in the sense that anytime the Dolphins are playing another good quarterback, maybe it does end up looking like that Charger game. Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we spent a lot of time on that game. So let's fly through some of these ones. The Commandos are at the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game, -8, because I thought the spread was going to be, 12.5, Tim, on the Guess the Spread show. The Commanders suck. Like, I get that it's a divisional game. I get that the Eagles are on short rest. I don't see how they stop the Eagles. And all Washington wants to do against an average to above average defense is throw it to them and not score points. So give me the Eagles at home, -8.
Same thing here. Put them on the money line parlay, 'cause that's what free money is this week.
Oh, okay. Are the Ravens going to hurt you again?
Oh, no. We aren't touching Baltimore this week after last week's debacle.
Where are you going, Jeff?
I'm gonna take the favorite. I'm gonna take the favorite in this game as well. And the scary part about that, you mentioned how you think the Commanders are gonna get railroaded by good teams all year. That could be possible. I'll only want one comment on this game. It's almost like there's a money tree, a literal tree that grows money, and we all see it. We all see it, and we stare at it, and we think we're too good for it, and the government hasn't said it's illegal to go near it. but there's only one guy that goes near it, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And this 1 yard push, you're telling me my 6'5" quarterback couldn't get a fat fuck lined up behind him and push him for a half yard instead of a fullback give? The whole league should be sued for malpractice. We only allow one team to do this.
I see. There has to be something with. I mean, they have an amazing offensive line. This we know. There has to be something to it that the other teams just can't generate that kind of forward momentum, or they would be doing it. I saw people talking about, "Hey, we need to ban this. They can't run this play." I almost want to say, "It's like I hope they just run it every play, just to fucking piss you off some more." If it's an unstoppable play, why wouldn't you run it? Like until it's outlawed, don't hate. You do it, like you're saying. But I don't think the other teams can. I don't think they have the proper personnel. There's something with Jalen Hurts and this offensive line, that combo, that they know how to do this so well. Because like you don't think that Indianapolis would be doing this with Anthony Richardson? Like they have the coach to do it who probably came up with this. They don't do it.
Okay. So here's my main takeaway.
Throw it backwards.
My main takeaway is I get how like maybe the Eagles do it too much because a lot of teams are like, no, it's a very dangerous play. You expose the quarterback to injury. I get like maybe not doing it all throughout the game, but God, like to win the game in your own territory. If there's ever like, I don't want to risk the injury on the $300 or the $500 million quarterback on some second quarter schmuzzle third down. But I don't understand. When everything is on the line, maybe you're right about the Eagle personnel. I don't know, Corey Linsley's real. I'm just speaking from the Chargers. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. Other teams have really good centers, really good guards, big guys who could push a pile. I don't understand what they do that's so different. I get Hurts is athletic. There's a lot of athletes around. Congratulations, Philly.
It's a round of Philly, by the way. Even the coin is taking the -8 with Philly this week. Of note, Commanders fan Kenny Kim is going to be the guest on Sunday Night Live on Mayo Media Network this week. So tune in at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You can just jump in the chat. Like I said, you can see Tim burn himself. It's pretty funny. And we got corn dogs this week, Tim?
Yeah, we got
that. Great call.
Well, I got my doubts that the air fryer, pogo is a delicate balance between a very crispy outside and a very tender inside, and then a hot dog that's got to be properly cooked. It's not the simplest thing.
I've never seen someone so pretentious about a fucking pogo.
Okay, well, I guess you have now.
1 star.
I love it though. I like it. I'd say a pogo in the air fryer. I'm already hungry.
Well, here's the thing: we're 3 weeks in with the air fryer. This will be the 4th week, obviously, of the show. We're gonna switch this because the segment is cooking with Cust. We're making them all these things in the air fryer, and they're turning out. Has the air fryer let you down yet? You said you didn't like the fries 15 minutes after they came out, which you wouldn't like any fries 15 minutes after they came out.
Yeah, no. So far, they've been pretty decent.
I mean, pretty decent is not quite the level of excitement that you've had at other times. Speaking about,
they've been good. They've been good. I have no complaints.
Okay, Paul.
I think fries were the least best of the 3, but they were all good.
Geoff, he's enjoying this stuff so much that like people in the chat are talking about like how many pieces of pizza Cust is gonna muck while he's on the show. Like he is.
No, buddy, I see him. You guys are
food.
doing the guess the spread. We're deep into it. We're past the snacking. He's still nibbling. He's still going back into that Jets hat for more.
Well, now that his hand isn't burned anymore, he can go back in. He's not bleeding all over the fries. But eventually he's going to have to start cooking these himself. And the rule is when he cooks them, he has to eat it regardless of how they turn out. It's all in preparation of him learning how to press the button to make it go. And then we'll be fine. And then he'll have to monitor it while we're guessing the spreads. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Like a lot of...
Yeah, I mean, you can make it in the air fryer. You'll have to eat it. And you can order takeout all at the same time while guessing the spreads. Do you think you can do that?
I'm confident that I cannot.
Okay, that's probably where I would have landed too. Minnesota at Carolina. Pretty sure we're getting Dalton in this game again. Carolina is a 3.5-point dog at home. 45.5 is the over-under. It's Minnesota. I assume it's a 1-score game, so I'll take the 3.5. Give me Carolina. Adam Thielen revenge game, Tim.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be mentioned as well. I kind of think maybe this game won't be on our TVs, but if
Oh
it
yeah,
is, it'll be mentioned.
we're definitely watching this game. This game, it has one of the higher totals of the week too.
45.5. Okay, fair enough. I will take Minnesota as well. I don't think they're going to go 0-4.
He took
Or-
Carolina.
I took Carolina.
Oh, you took Carolina. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm taking Minnesota. I think that's the only way to play this game.
Sota.
Is it
It's
because you
just a
want a
better-
Sota? Are you thinking
I
of
do
DCs
want-
and you're like, oh man, Minnesota sounds like a good pick and a good drink?
I actually am thinking about DCs now that you mentioned it.
Are you thinking about the
But-
Bears DC?
No. Goodness. I don't know. I just feel like the Vikings, this is a good spot for the Vikings to get off the mat, and I think they're going to actually win the game comfortably, too. This is on the short list for Superlocks.
I can see it. Like I said, I don't think that Minnesota's bad. I think that Carolina can keep this somewhat close. Their
3
offense.
weeks ago, what was this spread 3 weeks ago? 7?
I don't know if it was 7 on the road.
It would have been similar to the Tampa spread, probably week 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think
6.
so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah.
But Carolina,
I feel
I
like
mean,
I get you here.
but I mean, sure, but maybe people were wrong on their assessment of Minnesota coming into the year.
Maybe, but I've seen enough of Andy Dalton to know that I'm not too upset about having to face him down.
I mean, they allowed Andy Dalton to sling it last week, Geoff, rather than Bryce Young, who's like the check down king. It's weird.
Yeah, he hooked me a big backdoor teaser cover to win a teaser. Getting that whatever number they settled it on. So thank you, Andy Dalton. It seemed like some injuries on the O-line in that game, and then the pass rush was getting all over the Panthers, and as well, more injuries to the Carolina defense, which, when I tried to put a little air in their tire in the offseason, that's sort of where I held my hat, and those guys are all gone. I agree with Pat's assessment that you just can't lay the number and it'll be close and whatever, but I'm just going to go with Tim, and the most talent is on the side of the Vikings. There's just a absolute desperation there, and scary for Carolina, friends. I mean, lose this game, are they staring down the doomsday scenario? And I'll bring it up a lot so long as they're surrendering a top 3 pick to Chicago, who desperately needs it.
Let's see here. Overs are 9-2 since the beginning of 2021. The highest hit rate in the... that was the Philadelphia one. Since the beginning of 21, when the Panthers take on a top 10 passing offense, because Kirk Cousins is on pace for throwing 6,000 yards this year. That would be good. And the Vikings won, too. Overs are 20-4 in Vikings games following a Minnesota loss since 2020 with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. So the over might end up being the play in this game. So you're taking Carolina here, Geoff?
No, I'm taking Minnesota.
Okay. Pittsburgh and Houston. Houston is a 3-point dog at home. 42 is the over-under right now. The Texans are a league worst 3-10 against the spread following a win since the beginning of 2020 in the pandemic year. I don't know what to make of Pittsburgh's defense at all. Like, you think that they're going to be really good, but they scored the 2 touchdowns against Cleveland, and Cleveland passed pretty well against Tennessee. I guess everyone passes well against Tennessee. Like, Pittsburgh's a real conundrum for me right now because they lose to Cleveland, they beat Vegas, and I mean, outside of week 1 when Vegas beat Denver, like, that doesn't seem like a super impressive win at this point now, does it?
No, I am like that GIF or of that meme of the fellow who has his arm around Kenny Pickett, but is now looking at CJ Stroud. I started the year very much pro Kenny Pickett, and now I am very much pro CJ Stroud, and I will be taking Houston in this game. I think the Texans are going to win the game on the field. I think they're in a good spot. I think they're playing good football. I think they clearly are benefiting from some good coaching out of D'Amico Ryans. That defense is playing well. That team's playing with energy. Stroud looks pretty competent. The Steelers have looked like a mess for 3 weeks in a row. That they're 2-1 is some sort of a miracle. They too, of course, are very well coached. That helps explain some of the issue. But that team is not nearly as good or as skilled as I thought it was. And the proof is in the pudding. Houston was supposed to be one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in football. They're only getting 3 points at home against Pittsburgh. But nevertheless, I'm going with the Texans here.
Well, if this game, what do you think this game was 3 weeks ago?
Probably Steelers by 6.5 or 7.
So you're not getting the value on this one then.
No, but I actually don't think Pittsburgh's going to win.
Okay.
So, taking the Texans.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn here. The unders tend to hit. I mean, obviously with Pittsburgh. I just wonder, Geoff, is their defense good enough to just completely like Stroud faced what? Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Who did they play week 2 or week 1? Sorry,
Baltimore.
Baltimore. And Baltimore's defense isn't all that good right now, especially with all the injuries that they have. That if this is a real defense, I mean, like Stroud is getting pressured still on like 38% of his dropbacks. Like TJ Watt just might have a field day here.
Huntsell could be back though. He was close last week, and that's what I'm looking at. Like you, Pat, you said you're torn. I don't know what to make of this game. If there's 9, how many games are at 1 o'clock?
Lots.
Too many.
This game, it also seems boring. This game might not even make it for me. I caught one of those brief like film reviews on the internet. I don't watch film. It just came across my feed, just showing some incredible anticipation and timing connections from Stroud that I was really impressed with. Seeing the breaks before they happen, having the ball there. Some quarterbacks who have been in the league longer seem to struggle with that sort of shit. I'm torn. I'm taking 3 points. Seems like it could be real stupid. Like if Pittsburgh mops them, won't shock me, but I don't have a clue on this.
I'm with you guys. I'm going to take Houston as well. And I'm kind of with him. I think Houston can win this game outright on the field, being at home. And I just don't think that Kenny Pickett's good. And if Kenny Pickett's not good, Stroud might be better than he is. And even if he's has to run away from TJ Watt all day long, it might be fine in this game. And obviously still no Deontay Johnson. That's really hurting their passing game right now, making Pickens the number 1. Then you got Calvin Austin. Like they needed big plays, and maybe they can just generate them at will once a game for these touchdowns. But you just prevent them from having the big play. All of a sudden they don't look so good. They can't run the ball for shit. As Jake and I got into an argument about I mean, I think that Najee Harris sucks and that he's Trent Richardson, but apparently Jake thinks he's great. So it's a really bizarre take to have at this point in the season. But I like Houston +3. Damn the world here. I think if Pittsburgh had lost, I think everyone would have piled onto Houston in the spread, Geoff. But since Pittsburgh won in a primetime game, beat Vegas, looked pretty, I wouldn't say super impressive, but impressive enough that I don't think that Houston's just the sneaky popular side this week. I think that people just take, if my dad bet, he would be betting on Pittsburgh this week.
That's a fair assessment. It's a small number. It's one of those, they just got to win the game. Win should mean a cover.
But we know that's not always the case. Baltimore and Cleveland sounds like a game that may not make the actual rotation here, Tim.
I would say that too, but there are so many ugly games. Like the next 2 o'clock games are trash too.
I don't know. Colts and Rams could be pretty fun.
Okay, sorry, that's not the way I'm looking at my scale. I'm seeing Bengals, Titans, and Broncos, Bears.
Oh, Broncos, Bears is being that might be a main TV game.
Big screen. Thank you. We share an opinion that this is must see.
Dolphins, Bills. Okay.
Oh no, but just not big screen, but prime B team screen.
Okay. Sorry, let's cap the game we're actually supposed to chat about here. So my apologies. I shouldn't have taken us.
The Browns are 2.5-point favorites at home. 41 is the over/under. I've been wrong on the Browns all year long. Screw it. I'm jumping on board. Cleveland -2.5. Baltimore has been unimpressive so far this year, and they're 3-0. No, they're 2-1.
They're not
sorry.
3-0.
Yeah, they're 2-1
because that PI didn't get called. Yeah, screwed my teaser. Screwed a lot of Ravens fans.
Well, it was funny because the teaser was going to hit because Minshew Orlovsky'd himself in the end zone to bring it from the 1 point to the 3 point. It's like, oh my god, all these teasers are going to cover now, and they just lose the game outright.
Yeah, tough scene. I'm going right back to the well though with Baltimore. I'm still think they're the better team. I still don't trust what the Browns are doing on offense. Their defense is obviously extraordinary. I'd like to see Lamar run more in this game. I'd like to see him get on the ground more and make some plays in the open field. I think he's certainly capable of doing it. And I think that would be a path to success for them.
I don't think they want him to be
very
dead.
low score. No, but they also need to win this game. It's a divisional game. It's on the road. It's a very important game. Should be low scoring. Should be tight. When it's 2.5, it's more or less pick the side you think is going to win. And I think Baltimore's probably going to win. So I'll take Baltimore.
Lamar ran 14 times against the Colts for 101 yards. Like, how much better are you really doing from Lamar with that? And he rushed for 2 touchdowns.
No, if he does that, that's what we need.
I don't know. Like he did that against the Colts and they didn't win.
No, but you know what? They basically had to get, if the referees threw the flag when they should have, they had it won. So
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily the case that they would have had the game won. We don't know. what's
Tucker's
gonna
not
happen.
missing that field. Tucker's not going to miss that.
We didn't think
field. He missed-
Tucker was going to miss the field goal to win the game in the first place.
Obviously, he doesn't have the 61-yarder in him anymore, but he's going to make that kick.
It was pretty shitty weather outdoors in Baltimore. If you put him in a dome, I think he has the 61 pretty easily.
Maybe he didn't that day, but I liked it. Well, then fair enough. Then they would have won the game then.
Baltimore for Tim, Cleveland for myself in the coin. Geoff, you.
Browns, second best pass rush, third against the run. Seems like Baltimore's got offensive line injuries again. They got secondary injuries. This could be a super lock. Tim
I was
always
thinking
comes
that
at
too.
me because I flirted with the Browns super lock in the past. He's like, you can't super lock Deshaun Watson. You can't trust him. That could be so. But it's on the table.
As someone-
Secondary injury should allow Watson to do what he did last week, and even includes a stupid mistake.
As someone who went against Cleveland with their gold pick on the best bet show, because I wasn't allowed to take San Francisco because it was the Thursday night game, I got to see firsthand what the Browns defense was going to do to you if you don't have a fantastic offensive line. They're going to be all over you. Now, Baltimore's better than Tennessee, obviously, but it's not pleasant. They also just signed Deion Jackson, which is strange, to their backfield. He was just cut by the Colts. They signed Kareem Hunt to the $4 million. Now they're signing another running back. Maybe it's just a depth move. I don't know. Maybe they're playing Indy coming up and they need to get that inside info. So I thought that was a strange signing. But Baltimore, for Cust, he's on an island with that. The rest of us have the Browns. Cincinnati and Tennessee. Tennessee is a 2.5-point dog at home. Cincinnati got themselves right on Monday night, beating the Rams, but this is a short week. And I was surprised they let Burrow throw as many times as he did. And it felt like when he wasn't throwing to Jamar Chase, Tim, that he wasn't all that effective.
Yeah, I mean, he had hit Higgins for at least one decent pass. I didn't see every bit of that game. But I wouldn't say, as a Bengals fan, you come away from that enthused. I mean, you barely won the game. It was tight and low scoring, and like that's still not the Bengals you expect them to be, the sort of romping down the field team. Nonetheless, I'm gonna stick with the Bengals here because I am concerned the Titans might just be dead men walking.
Yeah, I get that sense too. But here's here's the problem. Who doesn't share the opinion, Geoff, that the Titans are just absolute trash and they are dead men walking right now?
I mean, I cheer for a team that just lost to them. So there are situations where they have some feistiness. Autry and Simmons are incredible. Like, if you don't have a decent O-line, your quarterback's going to get put on his back. If your quarterback's got to move sideways, the Titans can, and he's not good at moving sideways, the Titans can get you. Like, if the Titans were playing the Rams, they'd beat the shit out of them right now.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati doesn't have the best offensive line. I'm giving the Titans one more chance. I'm giving them another chance. Plus 2.5, Tennessee.
I'm gonna pick the Titans here too. It's kind of just stinks like the Chargers game did. And Burrow, he's not healthy. They're not trying to throw the ball. They don't want him to have to plant and rip downfield. Their schedule, Pat, is so easy for the next month. I'd almost consider sitting him for a couple weeks. They got a win last night. I don't know. That's a crazy thing to say. I'm insane. Give me the Titans. Not super confident, but Titans. Les.
So somehow Tim ended up on Bengals Island in this game. Titans are going to cost. I promised myself I am not actually going to bet this game because I just can't lose money on Tennessee anymore. It's getting really depressing. Rams and Colts. We're getting phony Tony in this game, I'm guessing. Geoff?
Is Tennessee 2-1 against the spread?
Oh, yeah. But just I bet big on them last week, and it was horrible. And they were so bad. So bad. Rob warned me, too, and I wouldn't believe him. Indy's a 1.5 favorite at home. 47's the over-under. Rams on a short week. They just didn't look good on Monday night, and the Colts have been spry, be it with Richardson or Minshew. But I do think that Richardson's probably going to play in this game.
This Colts could be a super lock for me. They get after the passer. It seems like there's still more offensive line injuries for the Rams could be developing. Bad situation, bad matchup, short week. Richardson should honestly be able to do whatever he wants on his legs against those linebackers for the Rams. Colts could be super lock.
Really? Okay. I'm going to take the Rams in this game. I think the Rams just are still. I think it's tough because it really depends on what you think of Cincinnati. But the Rams have acquitted themselves pretty well against Cincinnati, and I mean, I think that San Francisco did blow them out eventually. But they lingered for a little bit in that game, and they won in Seattle week 1. Like they actually played a pretty tough schedule, and I think Indy is better than a lot of people thought, except for Tim, who said that they were a 13-win team, yet didn't draft them in the win total draft.
Did not say they were a 13-win team.
You said they were 11-win team, sorry, and you didn't.
I said that it could be a team that
you took the Raiders. You took the Raiders instead.
Still not sure I'd made the wrong decision there.
Okay. Either way, I think that they're better than what the consensus thought that they were going to be. I still don't think that means they're good. And now we get to see the Rams against an average team or a slightly below average team. And I think that they are an average team or a slightly below to a slightly above average team. And they're not punching up this week. So I'll take the Rams on the road in a short week with Stafford.
For all the reasons Geoff said, I like Indianapolis, particularly the offensive line concerns. They get after it. The Colts do. I think it could be. I really like the Colts in this game.
I mean, do they get after it, or does like 3 offensive linemen down for Baltimore means that anyone's getting after them?
Hard to say.
You're right. They have a really high defensive line ranking at the moment, quarterback pressures. But what does that mean? It's 3 games. Some of the stats could be just mirrors at this point.
Yeah, because Baltimore has no offensive line to speak of as of right now because of the injuries that they sustained in week 2. So they don't have their best guys. They didn't have them last week, and in week 2 they played.
And they played the Colts, and they played the Texans.
They played the Texans.
Injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be. I mean, you could be right. They could have a fantastic offensive line who's gonna get after everyone, or they've had 2 super soft matchups with bad offensive lines, and it's making them look really good. This is the fun about the early part of the NFL season, right?
Yeah, and that's the dangers, as we said last week. Week 3, some scary shit happens, and boy, did it deliver last week, week 3, when everyone's an expert because they saw what they saw through 2 games.
So I'm the only one on the Rams here. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Kamara's back in this game. Jameis probably playing quarterback, more than likely, for the Saints. In this one, they're favored by 3. This feels like a 3-point game, so I'll take the team that is getting the 3 points. I will take Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield on a short week. Tim.
Jameis revenge game against the Buccaneers. I like the Saints in this spot. Indoors. If you look at DVOA, there's a pretty decent gap between these 2 teams. I mean, the books are essentially telling you that the Saints and Bucks are about the same with this spread. But, the Saints are 11th overall and Tampa is 19th. Like there is a gap to be had here. And I think that plays to the advantage of New Orleans -3. I think that's the way you should play the game.
Well, did I lose some money on Tampa through the first 2 weeks of the season? Yeah, you damn right I did. But was I smart enough to know that we're a fraudulent 2-0 and that probably presented a soft line for the Eagles last night? I did. So I want some back. This one, I'm just a slut for Jameis. Jameis Winston is getting a start. I can lose a few bucks on him. Like, I'll lose it and I'll feel like an idiot, but I'll be wearing a smile. A shit-eating grin.
Want to throw this out there.
On Jameis Winston.
Want to throw this out there for people. The New Orleans Saints might suck.
I mean, their defenses look great for 3 weeks.
So is Tampa's. They got beat up by Philly. Okay, great.
I would say their defense looked very good last night.
I just said they got beat up by Philly. I'm sorry, New Orleans had to play, who was it? They played Carolina and Green Bay. And who else did they play? Tennessee?
Tannehill. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Like, maybe when they play a real offense, too, that maybe their defense won't look so good.
Okay, I just no.
Tampa's played.
But don't we have the carryover from last year with that Saints defense?
I think so.
Maybe stuff tends to change year to year. Guys are older. There's still slight differences here. Tampa's actually back healthy. I mean, Kirk Cousins is on pace to throw for 6,000 passing yards. They limited Minnesota's offense pretty well.
Is this not the worst game of the slate? ignoring the entertainment value in the Bears Broncos.
No, I actually think that Cincinnati and Tennessee is the worst game.
Yeah, I guess they're pretty equal. Which game will have more points?
This one, no,
This one's the lower point total. It's only 40.5.
Yeah, this one is the lowest point total on it. I just think that Tampa Bay's, you can say that New Orleans defense is good. I would probably agree with you on that. I do think that they're pretty good. I happen to think Tampa Bay's defense is really good too, is kind of my point here. And New Orleans offense might suck. Like Jameis was useless last week.
Yeah, Jameis was useless. And even, I mean, the Titans secondary is horrible. Everyone that sort of played the Titans, win or lose, has been able to move the football other than Derek Carr.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tampa Bay. I think a field goal, this feels like a field goal game, doesn't it? Unless the defense gets a late touchdown and a team wins by 10.
I don't have a strong opinion.
Okay. Denver.
I'm riding. I love Jameis. I just love Jameis.
Denver and Chicago. Denver's a 3-point favorite on the road in Chicago. 46 is the over-under.
I loved when we were doing our Ryder Cup show, and we've mentioned it, go watch it if you care about that stuff. In the middle of that show, Cam started to complain about the Bears, and you guys recorded your spread pick show on Wednesday, or it went out on Wednesday night?
Yeah.
And he's like, Pat, I wanted to call you on Saturday to change my gold pick. It's like he doesn't get how this content thing works.
Cam is like those people on the internet who, like, 3 days after a show is released, like, can't believe there's out-of-date information in it. He thinks you should.
Oh, that's the best, because he was like, he picked Chicago, and then the week went to shit, and he's like, I need off Chicago.
I was like, it's okay.
I
Cam.
guess we can talk about that now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to do with this game. I'm going to take Denver. I think that Chicago could still potentially bottom out here.
I agree. Chicago might actually be the worst. Denver, while embarrassing, while pathetic, I have just too much, despite all Tim's things. Like, Sean Payton has a resume that believes there will be a punch thrown this week. I don't know if the punch will land. I don't even know if the Bears will throw a punch. I don't even know if Eberflus knows what a punch is. So I have to pick the Broncos.
Chicago has lost 13 consecutive NFL games. But it won't be 14. Give me the Chicago Bears. Because as bad as things are in Chicago, and it's a crisis, what's going on in Denver is a 5-alarm fire. Chicago didn't trade away their first and second round picks for a coach who's not done a discernibly better job with his team than the guy that he badmouthed who got fired. I mean, he was just nationally embarrassed. And then when questioned about it, how did he behave when he was being asked questions about it by the media and in the post-game press conference?
Question was pathetic. The guy wasn't asking a question. You have to
stand there and take it. When you give up 70 points as a coach, you just stand there and say, yeah, sure.
The guy's like, you lost by a historical margin today, and naming all these things. And Peyton had already addressed how embarrassed he was. This guy makes a comment. Peyton's like, what's the question? This guy went on to continue his comment.
How does
Peyton's a dud. I haven't defended him one time in your pit to tat this year. That was pathetic by that reporter. You ask a question.
Geoff gets to ask 2 questions at the Canadian Open scrum, and all of a sudden he's the expert on which questions are legitimate or not at a sports media scrum.
No, after the game, after the guy gave up a 70 burger, you don't get to go on a monologue. You ask a question.
Maybe he was about to get to the question, but Sean Payton, in his petulance, decided he wasn't interested in waiting.
I would be cutting people off nonstop if they weren't asking questions. I just leave.
I think if you give up 70 points, you would have the dignity to just say, I'm here to make a statement. I will take no questions. And then relieve the defensive coordinator of his position immediately. Or someone
there must be a level of respect I don't mean the coach's owed respect, but that this guy just got his ass kicked. There, he is trying. There's an accountability level to it that you try to get at, but you have to ask a question.
Oh, I didn't realize you had to, this. They have to treat these guys with kid gloves. I mean, I get that Denver's not New York City.
Ask a question, or he could say next question, or what's the question?
Or
Because his job is to answer questions, not take their opinions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's doing a good job. That's for sure. He looks good on TV doing that. You know, he's doing a bang up job.
That's what you get for wearing a ladies' golf visor on an NFL sideline.
Look, low crown visors are always the way to go. It's high crown ones that are terrible. I'll stand by that.
I just can't
Bad
wait.
team,
I can't.
badly coached.
I can't wait. I mean, this is all setting up for Denver to lose this week, you to laugh at them again, and they have one win this year, and they blow out the Jets in Week 5.
I will pick them to beat the Jets next week if the Jets are starting Zach Wilson.
Because
Jets are winning
you're
no
trying to
games.
curse them. This is what we know about you.
No.
You're trying to curse the poor Dolphins already.
No, the Jets are not going to win any games that Zach Wilson plays. So as long as he's under center, I am not going to pick them to win. It's that simple. They can't win with him.
So Geoff, you and I are taking Denver here.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver, and like you, Pat, like I will demand from my group of friends that this is a prominently showcased television spot, not position A, but my fascination with this game is way too high for what it is.
The outcome of this game could be anything. I'm looking very much forward to it. Like, it could be 6-3, 3-0. It could be 41-40 with 2 punt return touchdowns. Fields rushes for 275 yards. I do have. Did you see the description of Justin Fields that I put out earlier that we saw from our friend in our group chat, Tim? Or Geoff, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that tweet. Or you tweeted it. Yes.
Yeah. So if people missed it, it was comparing Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. That Zach Wilson is a 0.5 out of 10 in talent, but he also claims that Justin Fields is a 0.75 out of 10, and they both fucking blow. And the way he described it is Zach Wilson is like jerking off with sandpaper and trading the sandpaper in for aluminum foil when you get Justin Fields. That's how bad they are. I thought that was a pretty apt description. That's how I would feel, too, if I cared about either of these teams.
Okay, you think that the Bucks aren't horrible, and that's totally fair, and their defense is really good, and we all agree the Packers are tough. Can we maybe just, this could be a game that's actually in Chicago's weight class for the first time also? I mean, not to give them a compliment.
Yes, these are 2 of the 3 worst teams by the numbers in football. Absolutely, they're in each other's weight classes.
Yeah, I mean, for Chicago, most definitely win this game because Denver.
If the Bears win this comfortably, I don't know how Peyton gets through the next couple of weeks without just retiring. I don't know how you do it. How many games does he have to be humiliated in before he says, this is not for me? Washington gives up 35. He mismanages the game against the Raiders. They give up 70 this week. Like, how many weeks in a row does he have to be humiliated before he decides, you know what, I shouldn't have come back. The game has moved past me. If I don't have an all-time great quarterback under center, I can't do anything. Even then, it's not Russ's fault. They're 0-3 this year, in all seriousness.
But he did forgetting those specific comments at Hackett, it did seem like multiple times he took that approach that I even said to you, Tim. I don't know if it was on content or not. Like the political angle of the guy takes in over office, replacing the old party, and blames every single, I took over such a dumpster fire. Nothing here is my fault.
It's true, but how long do you want to wear the embarrassment for? How many more weeks of this can a person take before their dignity doesn't allow it?
He makes a lot of money. His dignity could probably, I'm not doubting he's a prideful man, but there's so much money in play for him.
You're right. You're right. I'm mistaken to say that he would resign, but my goodness.
Watch this turn out to be some sort of master plan from Sean Payton because he doesn't really want Russell Wilson. He doesn't think that they can win with Russell Wilson. Tim buries him. They go like, do they have their first round pick this year or does Seattle have it?
No, they haven't. And
They
don't-
haven't?
Dude, this is my fear. They better win a game.
They
Better win this game.
They go 0-17, and then all of a sudden, Russ ain't on the team anymore, and they have Caleb Williams.
Even
and-
for them to get second overall. Oh my God. I will be cheering. The Broncos and Chargers don't even play till week 13. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm desperately cheering for Denver to win to keep them out of a quarterback. Because we'd lose our wild card game anyway. We suck. Self-destruction, right? What is that? Self-assured destruction?
Mutually assured destruction.
You
Yeah.
mad, bro?
Mutually. Yeah.
But kept the Cold War at bay.
Adjusted sack rate. I'm just digging into DVOA. Shout out to FTN. They picked up all the DVOA stuff. FTNfantasy.com if you want to go use it. And I'll give a shout out to our guy, Meanie. Use code Meanie, and I think you get 10% off. So I would go do that. So Denver, Chicago, Chicago. Looking forward to this game and seeing what happens. That brings us to the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
In a lot of ways, I thought about going dark this week. I've been told that these corners have done nothing but hurt my case for an award that people very much want to vote for Geoff for. The voter fatigue is real. They really want to cast a ballot the other way. So I very much considered just saying, you know what, I'm just like one of those high jumpers in the Olympics, just keep passing at certain levels because it doesn't do me any good to jump at that level. But then I came across this story that's really cool I wanted to talk about. And it looks like, but more as I did some research on it, there's a few places like this in the Western world. It's called a hangover-free pub. And the conceit of the pub is that you go there and like you play darts, you play cards, you hang out, but there's no booze. Everything is non-alcoholic. So you don't have a hangover, you don't drink any alcohol, but you get to take in all the awesome parts of pub culture or pub life without the drawbacks of alcohol. And there's places it looks like in Canada where they like infuse alcohol with antioxidants so the hangovers are next to impossible. There's a place in Winnipeg that seems like it's a no drink spot. There's places in Australia maybe that infuse it. It's not Canada. Anyway, my point is there seems to be a burgeoning culture of alcohol-free pubs or alcohol-free bars so that there's no hangovers. Now, I think that's a brilliant idea. There's a lot of social science research to show that people thrive when they have what are called third spaces, somewhere other than work or home where they spend some time. And pubs can be that sort of thing. And without alcohol, I don't see I think it's a great idea. I'd like to see more of them. I think it sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible
not
time.
horrible.
But if you're into that sort of thing, like I would rather go to a pub and drink.
No, but the whole point is like the drinking is the worst part of it.
So
Yeah,
it's good for
but-
alcoholics,
Yeah.
but it's shit for everyone else.
Good for people who would like to spend some time in a space that isn't home or work, but aren't either required.
Let's go to a sports bar and turn the games off.
No, it would be going to a sports bar and turning the taps off.
No, be turning the games off because some people have gambling problems, and they can't see that there's a football game on.
But this is the distinction that many people, the purpose of going to a bar isn't to drink alcohol, but rather to be in that environment where they hang out with people, they play cards, they play darts, they go to the VLT, whatever. They're not there to drink alcohol. Alcohol just kind of comes with the package.
Is that still the thing people do?
Do you ever go to the bar?
Yeah, this is what I don't
more.
understand this.
ever go shoot
Hold
darts
on. When did you go to the bar?
When I was in graduate school, we used to go out to a bar every single Thursday night.
To drink and
Like
eat
a pub
wings.
style place. Yeah, like a pub style place. I think the idea of having a place where you can like hang out and play darts or pool or cards and drink non-alcoholic stuff and watch stuff on TV, like I think that's the best of both worlds. It's pub culture, which I think is inherently social and good, and it removes the worst part of it, which is the drinking and the alcohol and the potential.
How do you think pub
Rob-
culture gets to be fun and good?
That's the whole thing here.
not
You
not everybody
lubricate. Yeah, but the thing is, listen, it's a fine idea. I bet you it's going to do very well. That's why we're seeing more and more of them. And there are a certain type of people that are really going to go for that. Pat Mayo is not a person who wants to go to this because I don't want to be around these types of people. Like that. No, thank you.
Well, it looks like Wales, Australia, Canada. These are places where there's a history of like pubs and pub culture.
And I'm sure that there are people that like Geoff said, recovering alcoholics, people who saw alcoholism destroy their families. They don't like to drink. They're allergic to drinking, whatever it might be. This is a perfect place for them. I'm not one of those people. I can go to a bar and have a few drinks and go home.
Yeah, and that's fine, but it's nice that the drinking has been taken out of the equation.
Why is that
like,
nice?
It's not net.
I like drinking. I like drinking with my friends.
I want
We
to
have
go
a good
to this
time.
restaurant. I'm fat. If you put a hamburger with cheese and bacon on the menu, I'm gonna order it. So don't have that on the menu. Just have salads and chicken breasts. So I can't
and this
order
is
a
gonna sound-
hamburger.
This is going to sound crazy, but I'll tell you right now, if they could make a fast food restaurant without the fast food and you could hang out there, I would do that
Oh my god.
in a heartbeat. That would be great. If I didn't have the pressures of like having to order the worst stuff or it being there, and it was just like healthy foods and water.
You realize
that
you're
are hanging out, the people that hang out at the fast food place.
Yeah, I know
These
the
are
people.
not people to envy. I don't
Well,
mean
no-
the people that eat there and like leave. They eat their meal, they relax, they go, they have their drink, they leave. I mean the people that hang out there. You don't
Yeah.
want to envy that.
Well, I envy the ability and the experience of hanging out there. I don't envy the sorts of problems that are attendant to that because of the foods you might consume or whatever. Like if you could remove the burgers and the fries and etc. from the equation and just have like a McDonald's experience where it wasn't McDonald's stuff.
You
Like,
want
I
to be
think
Norm at Cheers with the McDonald's staff.
that would be great. Yes, but remove the fast food part. Remove the worst part of it. The worst part for you. Make it like social. And if you're like me and after a hard day's work, you want to go out. You don't want to just stay home all day.
You
This
work
is a
at home.
proper-
You don't work a hard day. You're at home, like naked on your couch with a laptop.
That is not that. That's not true. Foolish. Like
That's not true. He said
it wasn't. That's not. Like
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
After your hard day of work of your 200 steps, you got to go to McDonald's to socialize with all the winners.
socialize. He can keep his same medium fountain soda cup and just keep crushing refills as he's hanging out all day.
My point is, I like the idea of places existing where you can take in all the cultural and social experience of it, but having removed the one thing about it that makes it really troublesome.
Yeah, but the whole point of these places, of why they're popular, are the troublesome thing. Like,
No, I don't think
all
that's-
these non-alcoholic bars are, maybe they're fun and everything, they sound like a kid's rec center. You can go play darts
they
and you can
don't.
go play pool. Like, that's what you do at those places.
Next thing he's gonna say, he wants me to go to some club in Vegas without Molly.
I think you should go to a club without that.
I can't, because I'm a recovering Mollyaholic, Geoff. Because the last time I did it, I had to be peeled off the floor of a club. Never again, Geoff. Never again. Cust saw it. It was bad news.
Yeah, it was not a good scene for all involved.
Paul, you were going to comment?
I feel like these things already existed.
Yeah, they do.
Like
They just don't call.
I have
They're
an
not trying to
alcoholic-
emulate pub culture, though. Is the thing? They're just a place where you can play darts and pool and go do that.
Yeah,
I
like,
have
I'm
a buddy
looking
who
at
was like
over
an
the last 4
alcoholic.
years.
He was, he was a wild child in college, and he's gotten clean and all of that. So like we go to like Snakes and Lattes where they have like board games and coffee. We do it
But I
because
don't
we
appro-
love him, not because like we would ever go there if it wasn't with him. But he can't really.
But
be
wouldn't
around
it be
the
great to
booze.
go
Like, this has been
to
around
a
forever.
place? Wouldn't it be better to drink some Budweiser Zeros and
Why would I
hang out
wanna-
in a bar?
What? So at this
Yeah.
place, you're drinking like legitimate non-alcoholic beer instead of real beer?
But that is an option. That is one of the options. There's non-alcoholic drinks there.
When you said non-alcoholic drinks, I assumed you had like, I don't know, DCs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have those too, but like these places have, alcohol-free drinks.
This is like the most hipster millennial take I think you've ever had.
I don't think it's anything hipster about it. Like the place that I was looking at here in Wales has shelves with alcohol-free beer, wine, and ciders, along with hot and soft drinks.
I mean, I've never had non-alcoholic wine, but I assume it's worse than Jewish wine, which is awful. I couldn't imagine.
Does Tim get this? Does Tim get these articles from some Facebook moms group?
Honestly, do you want to go and play darts at this place because like you can't beat anyone at a real pub that maybe the losers at this pub you can beat?
I just think it sounds like fun. And
What is fun about this place? And when you go to pub, let me straight up ask you this: at any pub you've ever been to, have you ever played darts?
No, but I have watched people play darts. And it's part of the. What I'm saying is there is something extremely healthy about being able to socialize in a space that's outside of your house where the glue that's holding it together isn't a vice like booze. Like
okay,
there's something
there are tons of things you can do. You can go to the gym and socialize if you want. You can join a running group and go exercise. We go golfing all the time. We never drink when we play our rounds. We got to drive home.
None of these things are mutually exclusive. You're right.
This place sounds horrible. I'd rather bed rot.
Yeah, no, bed rotting would be way better than this. I invite our friend. We can invite friends over. We just have a big bed rotting session. Be great.
Your favorite. So here I am promoting social activity, and you're on team antisocial activity.
Well, I am a social person. You're not. You're antisocial.
I like to think of myself as a recovering antisocial person.
I mean, your idea, you're against bed rotting because it's just your everyday activity.
No, it isn't. I'm someone who is self-aware enough to know that left to my own devices, I would be antisocial. So I make an effort not to be antisocial.
You're not self-aware with much, though.
Yeah, that is a problem.
I'm not much self-aware. Do you know how many innuendos you made over and over and over last week without any idea that you were doing it?
Yeah, but after the fact, I'm aware, and I was pathetic, and I acknowledged it.
Like I thought you guys would be really enthused about this idea.
No, this sounds like this sounds like something like I would have been super pumped about when I was like 13.
Yeah, sure.
I just think it's a good, fun idea. It's wholesome and it's social, and I think it's in a society where people are dropping out and spending less and less time together and in less social environments. This is an opportunity for people to spend time together and not have to be worried about like something like booze corrupting the whole experience.
Like this when is booze like? What's your problem with booze?
I mean, like, it's not good. It's a problem. It's a social ill. Yes, it can be enjoyed in moderation, but too often, particularly in bars, it is not.
Yeah, it's the fun part about bars.
That leads to a lot of problems. So here we're removing the one thing that's most problematic about pub culture, and I think that's a Jim Dandy idea.
A Jim Dandy idea. You're going to join your fucking church group after this? Like, this sounds like the worst fucking time of all time. Now that you've continued to talk about it. You're either 90 years old or you're 13 years old to enjoy, I need to go to this place to socialize. Because you're going to meet Ned Flanders there?
Also, so what if there's some older people there? That's great. If they don't feel comfortable or feel intimidated in bars these days, this might be an outlet for them to.
So this place you won already exists. It's called the Bingo Hall.
Yeah. Well, but Tim's too intimidated to go to the bingo hall because calling bingo numbers is the toughest thing in the world, according to Tim.
It's a glamorous lifestyle. That's all.
Like, there are plenty of places that you can go that, I mean, you can just go to the pub and not drink. There's that.
Yes, you can, and I can. I've been to pubs before and not drink. It doesn't bother me. But there are people for whom the siren call, I get it. It's like being at a fast food place and say, I'm not going to have that burger. And you have it. Like, I get there are people for whom that's a challenge. And so this removes the social ill from the situation. And I'm not saying get rid of pubs. Have all the pubs you'd like. But I like the idea of having some non-boozy pubs where people can hang out and socialize and have fun and experience all the positives of pubs with absolutely none of the drawbacks. Hangover free. all the fun and none of the pain. I think it's great.
I just don't see who would want to go hang out at these places that weren't like the world's biggest losers.
Well, I think that's sad that you think that the idea that if it doesn't
Like
have alcohol,
there's so many things that you can go do in the course that doesn't involve drinking that you can go congregate at. But you have to go to a place where historically drinking happens. And the only reason like playing pool and playing darts really is fun is because you're kind of boozed up when you're doing it. It's not like, why don't you own a dartboard? Why don't you own a pool table?
I don't, but I know people who do.
Do they play darts a ton?
They play a moderate amount, I suppose.
Probably because, they like playing darts. Maybe they don't love to drink. Maybe they like to drink at home and play darts, but usually drinking and darts go together. Unless you're super serious, then you just have it at home. You don't need to go to some place where no one's drinking to go play darts. It's like a pastime to do while you're drinking.
I don't know. My grandfather and grandmother had a dartboard in their basement, and so I would play with it when I was younger. There's no booze there. That's how I learned how to play darts. It was fun.
So your example of this is, how long ago did your grandparents die?
Well, one of them passed away in 2004.
So 30 years ago.
Not 30 years ago. It wasn't even 20 years ago.
No, 30 years. You said when you were a kid. And you were doing this.
Okay. Well, I was doing. Yeah. So I was like 12.
So your example of this is almost 30, let's say 25 years ago that you did it. And that's the example that you're using? You weren't drinking then when you were rummaging around in your grandparents' fucking basement?
And neither were they. We're getting a field here.
I don't know. I just think you can go if you want to go do these things, you either own one or you're going to go to a regular bar and just not drink. Like, this just seems like...
It's like going to a Legion where there's no booze. It's fun.
What?
It's fun. It's fun to play cards or darts or pool.
When was the last time you went to a Legion and play cards? Have you ever done any of these fucking things? Or is it just or is this just like your New York Jets hypothetical Super Bowl that hypothetically this would be a great idea?
Dad and I used to go to the Legion on Friday nights somewhat frequently.
You do?
Dad and I used to go to the Legion on Friday nights somewhat frequently.
Up until what age were you going?
From 19 to 22, 23, 24. Quite a bit.
To play cards at the Legion?
We would play pool. We'd play cribbage. He'd drink. I wasn't interested in drinking. And just hang out. He was a Legion member. Still is a Legion member. Yeah, it was nice.
Okay.
I liked it.
All right, so I guess this is perfect for you. Geoff, do you have any interest in this?
None of it makes any...
Geoff is on his phone checking out Ryder Cup matchups.
None of it makes any sense to me.
So you went to the Legion with your dad, and he drank there, and then you didn't drink. So it's like...
And you drove him home.
Yeah. Like, you guys still had fun. You did it for multiple years. It was
without
a drinking
drinking
establishment, but you made the choice not to drink.
But
Why
I'm
do we
just
need
saying, I
places
didn't
that
drink.
You're forcing your dad not to have fun. Like, that's kind of your idea.
I'm just saying there should be opportunities for people. There should be, and I like the idea that there are spaces where people get to enjoy all the fun of going out to the bar without actually any of the downside, which is the drinking and particularly the feeling ill because of it.
Then don't get too booze and get hungover. Like, some of this is on
some
people.
That's a problem. Well, but
what
there
is
are some
this
people
fun
who
about
can't.
bars outside of
Yeah, that's the whole thing that I'm circling back around to. What's the fun of the bar if you're not drinking? You can actually go do fun things. Going to the bar is for drinking. It's not to play fucking pool. Go to a pool hall then.
I guess I just see it differently.
I just don't get who would want to go to these unless you're a recovering alcoholic and you can't be around it.
I think several people would. Obviously, they're staying in business and they've been around for a few years. It looks like so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that can stay in business that a very small percentage of people go to. I just don't see how this would be a ton of fun. Like, can you bet
More dry
on
bar.
I don't
things there?
think it would cost much to buy the business. I'll put it that way.
Just go to a
Jeff,
family
just-
restaurant.
just
Like, that's
demeaning
basically
it.
what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I'm not demeaning it. I'm demeaning your enthusiasm for it.
You should say, if you think this is a good idea, why don't you start one here?
I don't want to start one. I just want to be able to go to one on the odd occasion. We could all go to one. I wouldn't want to go by myself necessarily.
Why not?
Would you rather go to a Legion Hall where everyone's shit-faced?
Yeah.
That was not my experience of the Legion halls that I went to.
That people weren't getting shit-faced?
No, that they weren't getting like hammered.
Could your dad drive home afterwards?
I think so. I did the driving usually, but I think so.
I don't know, man. Like, this just seems like you could do all this at a bar anyway. Like, you'd be making a millennial hipster, like you like to say, statement about, like, I don't drink, I'm gonna go do this. That's what it seems like you're saying.
There is such a thing as pub culture. Maybe it's more British than you're comfortable with, but there's a whole subgenre.
Yeah, because of the drinking. The drinking is the pub culture part.
No, the drinking is what led to pub culture, but pub culture is a
There is no pub culture without the drinking. That's the whole thing. You're going to have a bunch of weirdos who are antisocial sitting around, and there's no booze to get them going. They're going to be standing there on their phones in whatever place this is.
Standing there. I would do that too.
Yeah, I know you would. I know what you would do. In pub culture, there's the camaraderie because people have a few drinks in them, and they're just more willing to talk to other people and be loud and be everything like that. It's more communal in that sense, and people are a bit lubed up, and they're ready to go, ready to talk to whoever. At this place, like, it's just going to be people sitting there saying nothing.
I think it's a nice idea. I'm pro it.
I'm saying start one. See how it does.
I don't have the ingenuity or the effort.
I can help
level
you. I can help you with your business plan. We can get you a small business loan.
I could. I just don't have the energy for it.
So, guys, is this just like you can't call a restaurant and make a takeout order? That you can't do this
Well,
either?
if I'm uncomfortable with that, imagine how uncomfortable I would be running my own dry pub.
Well, it does seem like, I mean, it seems like a bit of booze would actually help you in some of these social settings. That going to a place without booze would be very problematic for you.
I don't know. I don't really like to drink that much.
Maybe that's the whole thing here, that you don't like to drink, so this sounds great for you. And people who like to drink would never go to one of these places.
If I'm going to drink, I'd rather go to a craft beer place where I can enjoy like a flight of nice craft beers that are each like telling me a story about the flavors, and instead of going to a pub to drink overpriced draft.
Draft?
You used to call what you just said you preferred like pretentious, and no one should do that. And we should just drink mass-produced draft. I
still like like cans of Coors Light.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Don't get me wrong.
Coors Light, I love.
Nothing wrong with cans of Coors Light or Budweiser or Corona. I'm still on board with those.
So
I used to say,
but why wouldn't you just go to if it's pub culture if it's pub culture that you crave, and you still like to drink beer, why wouldn't you just go to the pub and drink a can of Coors Light?
I'm not even sure if I crave it. I just think it's a really nice idea for social harmony and development. I think it's healthy for a society to have spaces where people can hang out as adults where there is no alcohol.
There's lots of places like these. You go to church.
And I think that's another very healthy way.
I don't know.
But church tends to be more of a Sunday morning thing. It tends not to be like a 6 o'clock after work thing.
Are people like going out after work? Don't people have things to like go home to? Or this is just for like alone people?
I don't know. But as more and more people are unmarried and more people don't have families, more and more people have nothing to do all night.
And you think that this like playhouse would be perfect for them?
I think it would be a healthy thing, yes.
Is it going to have like is this like the place that I bring my kids to that has like an indoor trampoline and a slide too?
Stop it. You know what I'm talking.
This sounds, but that's what it sounds like.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like a pub that doesn't have alcohol. That's what it sounds.
It doesn't sound like a pub that doesn't have alcohol because pubs need to have alcohol.
Well, they don't have to.
Yes, they do. Or they're not really a pub now, are they?
It sounds like an arcade for 13-year-old birthdays.
Yeah, that's it's like Palladium.
Because it's not like Palladium, because that's just arcade games and like RC racing cars.
Okay, sorry. It's Palladium with a pool table and a darts board.
But it's just those sorts of things. Cards.
Oh, great. So it's worse than Palladium. Why wouldn't you just go to Palladium?
Like grown-up stuff.
Darts are great. The only time you said you ever played darts is when you were 12 years old.
That's how I learned how to play darts.
When's the last time you played darts?
2 New Year's Eves ago.
No, he's literally described Dave and Buster's, just no alcohol.
Just go to Chuck E. Cheese, but like it would be kind of weird if you went by yourself. Like bring somebody's kid.
Go rent a kid.
That also sounds incredibly strange.
Go rent a kid for a night. I don't know. It's just strange. Oh, I went and got my haircut earlier. And for whatever reason, I never schedule a haircut. I don't know why. I get them every 2 weeks. I should really be more on top of that. And have
I booked my next one as I'm having my current one, so I don't have to actually call to make a reservation.
Some of us don't have as set of a schedule as you do. How often do you get your haircut?
Every 4 weeks.
Okay. You get it? Really? You're not growing out that fro anymore?
No, I don't see a purpose.
Okay, I see. All right, so I get mine done every 2 weeks, and I usually go to the place around my corner, although the lady that I had last time, I mean, I have the world's easiest haircut. It takes like 6 minutes. You do the 2 on the sides, you blend it in, or maybe even just do a 4 on the top, and don't even do a trim. Let's go 2, 4, blend, boom, we're done. Shave the neck, we're fine. But like when they use the razor, like they hit it off with the spiky comb. And this woman was just tearing my ears apart on it. So anyway,
Ouch.
I went around and I wanted to go to a different place so that wouldn't happen to me again because my ears were all red for like 2 days. And the first 2 places I went to weren't doing walk-ins because they were full of appointments. Apparently everyone's getting haircuts today. And I went to this place that I thought was called Original Cuts. I saw Original and I saw the barbers. What's the barber's thing called?
A pole?
Is it just called a pole?
It was called a barber's pole. Yeah.
Is it called Barber's Pool? Anyway, so I saw that. I was like, perfect, Geoff. I'm going to go into this place. And I pulled up, and there was like hockey stuff on the door, like old-timey hockey players and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, like whatever, for kids. I walk in, and there's like those old Rock'em Sock'em Don Cherry video, like the cutouts of Don Cherry. There's like 3 of those in the place. There's hockey memorabilia everywhere. And I sit down, I'm like, oh no, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm listening to the radio, and it's the Fan 590 that's on. I was like, I don't know anyone in Halifax who listens to this, but he's listening to it. And my guy, Jesse Rubinoff, who I went to broadcasting school with, is hosting the show that I'm listening to. And he looks at me and goes, you a sports fan? I had to tell him no, because I didn't want to engage in it.
Wow. I love it. Wow. You like sports? No.
No. I don't. I'm sorry.
Don't mind.
You should have said yes.
He
brought
it up
cricket.
3 more times, and he really wanted to talk hockey with me. And here's the thing: I talk for a living. Tim, you know me in my personal life. I don't like talking anymore. I don't like talking when I'm not on the show. I talk way too much when I'm on here. That I just kind of like to be quiet a lot of the times, and haircuts especially. Like I just don't want to converse with the hairdresser, with the barber. I just want to sit there. But he just would not pick me up on any cues. He wanted to talk about fucking hockey with me. And you know how much I hate talking about hockey. And it turns out the name of the place was Original Sixes when I went back outside and looked at it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he finishes up. He's like, that'll be 25.
Give me the Johnny Bauer, please.
Yeah. So I finish up. And I walk up to the cash register, and I look at the cash register, like, oh no. The cash register looks like it's from like 1961. I just look at the guy's like, you only take cash, don't you? He goes, oh yeah. I was like, where's the closest place I can go get cash? And I had to go get cash and come back because they don't have any sort of technology in there.
Funny, I was getting lunch somewhere the other day, and someone kept trying to pay with their card on their phone, and the system just wouldn't take it and wouldn't take it and wouldn't take it. And I just couldn't help but think, like, why you got to carry the cards? Can't trust the technology. Got to have the cards.
Free meal.
The person had their card, was able to swipe it. But I was like,
say if you didn't have your card, then you get a free meal. What are they going to do? Make you wash dishes? That's on you. Your technology failed.
I guess.
If your phones were. So it sounds like you could have had a free meal.
Did you go get cash?
Yeah, I had to go to the bank, get cash.
More importantly, Jeffrey, would you have, or do you feel entitled to that free haircut? Because like that company's making enough money anyway.
Oh, this guy was not making
Original
enough money.
Six. I would support owner-operated small business. I would never take anything from.
Go in there and say, give me the Stan Mikita, please.
No, but let's just put it out there. But if I went into small business, spent like $83, yeah, I think they should toss me a bag. Yeah.
So some small businesses you'll support, other ones that make barbecue you won't support.
But he did continue to support them. His wife told him he couldn't.
No, that place is gone. I miss it so much. Like, why couldn't the guy just cook his barbecue and leave his vaccination? Like, whether you're right or wrong, like, just man, just we're here for the meat, bro. Oh, need that.
So I mean, if you're only taking cash, how much in like, I mean, Tim, you know about people who pay taxes and people who don't pay taxes. How much tax do you think he's not paying throughout the course of a year? If you're only taking cash.
It's very, I mean, it's perfectly legal, but yeah, I don't care for that one bit.
Just seems very
It's just an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience to your customers.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just really inconvenience to your customers.
Most of the not even like I know some local places, burger joints, some like diners. They took it as far as they could without the cash, but pretty much in COVID, I mean cash only, but pretty much in COVID, they all sort of succumbed to having to get a cash-free thing.
Yeah,
Well-
it's just, it's 2023. Come on now.
Well, I would think with so many people, like Tim just mentioned, like I still have my card on me, even though I tend to do like tap from my phone most of the time, that there's probably just a ton of people who only bring their tap with them. So they're probably getting a ton of runouts. People are like, yeah, I'm not paying. Sorry. See ya. What are you going to do?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it still is technically theft, but I understand the situation.
Yeah, like can they influence? Are they going to follow you to the bank?
No, of course not.
No. So most reasonable people would go back and pay, like sensible people, but I'm sure there's a ton of people that wouldn't at the same time.
I am sure there is.
Anyway, that's my haircut experience. So I need to find. I mean, I don't know how I feel about the cut, but it's better than that time, the first one that I got in Toronto, when I inadvertently walked into Little Portugal and got my haircut, and he gave me the Ronaldo, and I was like, "Oh my, this does not fit me at all. I don't need the fucking line shaved in my head like a goober." Anyway, let's get back to football. Arizona and San Francisco kicks off the late slate of games. San Francisco was favored by 14 points on extra rest. 43.5 is the over-under. Brandon Ayuk is likely to practice this week. We'll see if he plays. Deebo Samuel is dealing with a ribs problem sustained in the Giants game from last Thursday. We'll see if he's able to play, but feels like a lot of points. The one issue I'm having here, Tim, is did the Cardinals just win the Super Bowl?
That is a great question. I don't think that they just won their Super Bowl. I think that they've played well and played up to competition 3 weeks in a row. And I mean, the thing that's most surprising to me through 3 weeks, if you look at DVOA, the Cardinals are a top 10 team. Now, I don't believe they're a top 10 talent. I think that they've overachieved. But I'm not willing to go so far as to say I think they've won their Super Bowl. I still think they're going to be in games throughout the season. But I don't think they're going to be in this game. Very tough to like 2 touchdowns in division. But San Francisco has played well enough through 3 weeks to deserve laying a big number and me feeling like they can cover it. I've seen them do it now twice. Well, I thought they were going to lose against Pittsburgh, and they crushed them, and then they did cover a big number against the Giants. And they ended up covering or not covering against the Rams only because the Rams kicked a meaningless field goal at the very end of the game. So all that to say is, as much as I hate laying 14 in division, I will do so with San Francisco.
I'm actually going to go with Arizona here. I think they're just frisky enough to either score some garbage time or just kind of surprise us. Like the bet here, Geoff, is bet Arizona in the first half. It's probably 7.5 plus 7.5, maybe even 6.5, maybe 7, whatever it might be. They've been excellent in the first half this year.
I have to acknowledge they should have more than a win, and I guess all of us under 4.5 win season ticket holders are relieved that they're 1-3 or 1-2 in some ways. I'd lay an alternate line here. Like I'll bet minus 19 points on San Francisco. It's yards for free.
What?
They get yards for free. It's like Miami.
Yeah.
Cardinals, I don't want to call it a regression game because that'd almost be unfair, but yeah, Cardinals, and it wouldn't even be fair because San Francisco's so dominant, but big time back to reality week for the Cardinals for me.
Okay. I'll stick with Arizona here. Vegas and the Chargers. Geoff hasn't seen the thumbnail to this episode yet, Tim.
I have.
Did I share it with you?
No.
I can share it with you right now.
Okay.
But the Chargers are favored by 6 in this game. 48 is the over-under. Geoff, I guess I will throw it to you. Can the Chargers cover 6 points?
They've shown that they can't. Their defense is so bad that 6 just seems like such a huge number. And the Raiders still have weapons. Like Jacob should have a great game. We can't seem to escape all world receivers. Maybe every team has them, but we'll still give up big plays to the Titans. So I'm sure Adams will have his, and I'm sure Myers will have his. But right now, is Garoppolo playing? Because that's a question, Pat, and that's why the line has moved from the 4.5 to 6.
Sorry, I just got the thumbnail.
I don't like where this is going. I'm being railroaded, but whatever. I accept it. I accept my role in the railroad.
I find it strange that they're putting out a line, and I don't think that Jimmy's going to play. So do you think that we get, was it O'Connell, or do you think we get Brian Hoyer?
Well,
I hope it's Hoyer.
It looked like they had Hoyer ready to go last week when Jimmy got
Yeah, but that's
hurt.
emergency coming to a game. Maybe if like a full week of prep, they feel like they could do it with O'Connell. And O'Connell scares me. Like an aged vet, I'd rather play than an unknown who, I don't know, showed some signs of being really good and was the preseason MVP for some.
Well, I don't think McDaniels is very good at his job, so I'm sure he'll play the guy.
Oh, that was the worst call of the week. In a week that involves Brandon Staley coaching a game, Mike McDaniel, I mean, not McDaniel, Josh McDaniels,
Oof.
I don't even know how he could justify it. I lost a lot of respect for him. That didn't even affect any bet that I had. It had nothing to do with money. You're just watching there wondering what on earth these guys do to make that decision.
That was a rough one. I love you this week, Jeffrey. So much
Tim,
so on the money line parlay.
Well, if we can,
I think you're not going to lose this game.
if the Chargers can win this game, they can get to 2-2, which kind of feels like they have saved their season temporarily, before we get out of September, and then they go on a bye week and can maybe regroup. I need this game
Back
bad.
after the bye. Get Eckler back after the bye, maybe.
So last week I cut my hair, and a lot of people are like, you cut your hair, change the vibe to get the Chargers to win. So I don't really want to cut my hair again because we don't really go much lower than this. But maybe like we'll have to shave that bush or something. Trim that sucker. We got to get rid of something. If we win again, we go on bye week, so I don't have to shave anything, and then we can play the game. I don't know, maybe an eyebrow can go. I don't
Do
have
you
much
know
chest
who you
hair. I'm
play?
like a baby. I'm like a baby's bottom, but there's a little there we could
Do you know
scrape
who
off. I'll do whatever it takes.
coming out of that bye? Do you know who you're playing coming out of that bye?
Dallas, Kansas City, Chicago, bring it the fuck on. Just I
Dallas-
want to beat the Raiders so I can worry about that, Tim.
Dallas on Monday Night Football coming out of that bye
Do you want
in LA.
Do you want me to call original sixes to see if they can trim your Arbusto Grande? You can probably just walk in as long as you got cash. I don't know if I could be walking around with a big giant bush all the time. I feel like that'd be very uncomfortable with how tight my underwear is.
So
He didn't even realize he was making another innuendo when he said that.
No, I'm pretty
no,
sure.
I
that he
realized
did.
I meant I was
That's
shaving
what
my
that.
bush.
Yeah, that's what he was referring to, Tim. You didn't realize that.
Oh, I thought he was still referring to his hair on his head.
No, he wasn't.
Well, it's hard to know because after last week, I don't know what Geoff is talking about.
When was the last time you shaved your bush, pal?
That's a terrible question.
Why is that a terrible question?
Not answering that question.
Do you shave with the lines? Because you should. That way you won't
What?
get cut. Yeah, that's just everyone knows that.
Oh my God. I'm not comfortable having this conversation at all.
Well, I
Okay, we
mean,
either have this conversation or you call you order a meal.
I'm not that hungry tonight, so I don't even want to order anything.
Really, it's funny that every Tuesday night when this gets brought up, you're never hungry. Yet you always seem to be going to fast food places and eating.
Not always. I didn't go to one yesterday.
Whew.
Wait, that's a lot. I did, actually. I went to Wendy's. But I went healthy. So
What'd you get at Wendy's that was healthy, Tim?
I got the chili and a DC.
I mean, I don't think that's healthy. You seem to conflate low calorie and healthy. For example, if you eat 4 Doritos, it's around 80 calories.
No.
Let's call it 6 Doritos. 6 Doritos is around 80 calories. A banana is 80 calories. One is healthy, Tim. The other is not.
See, Pat, I'm going to interject here. I'm not defending Tim. When he says he made a healthy decision, he's making that comment relative to the rest of the menu.
He
Correct.
never
Like
a societal healthy
hold
decision.
on. He never said he made a healthy decision. He just said he ate healthy.
Well, at Wendy's.
Yeah, it's implied. Thank you, Geoff. That's that. Thank you.
Most
I made
people
the
would just say
healthy-
they ate poorly because they went to a fast food joint.
No, but because I didn't choose poorly would have been to get the double baconator. That would have been to choose poorly.
I don't understand why you would go to Wendy's and not get the good things on the menu. Like
I think
why
chili
go
is delicious.
why to go to Wendy's in the first place? You think the Chili's at Wendy's is like the pinnacle of chili if you really
Yeah,
want
but
to
why not chili with a burger and fries? Like, why just the chili?
It was just lunch. I was just in the mood for a big DC and some chili. I
And
can
to
show-
visit your friends.
Yeah, he just went there to hang. Socialize
There's no
at
point in
Wendy's.
hanging at Wendy's. Wendy's was a great place to socialize when they had that room with all the windows that you could hang
Sunroom?
out in, the sunroom. That would have been a place to hang out. I'm pro people hanging out at fast food places.
As Geoff said, have you
Nothing
seen the
wrong with
people? Have you seen the people that hang out at fast food places?
I'm not in the business of judging other people.
Yes,
I
you
don't know
are.
their
That's all you do.
I'm not going to judge their circumstances. They're where they want to be.
You're judging people who shave their bush. It's uncomfortable and itchy.
I would argue the people who make the day hanging out at fast food places are not where they want to be.
Unless they're like really trying to collect those like penny hockey cards that come out. Or I mean, do they have that in the States? Is that a thing? Like fast food joints like
No
giving out
chance.
sports cards?
No, but I think next week is the start of the race.
Oh, Monopoly is back next week, huh? You're gonna make some healthy
I
choices
think-
next week, are you?
Jeff and I have had this conversation. I either have to start right away or I might as well not even bother.
Well, you're not
Tim
Tim
going.
feels like he is so.
Go
Tim
ahead.
feels like he's so perfectly dissected the McDonald's calendar that he has a current set of coupons that he thinks that when these expire, that means Monopoly is here. He might be right. He's a savant for these things.
Thank you.
They don't give coupons during Monopoly. Those are premium things.
Oh,
Right, Tim?
I just went on their website because that's what anyway, I have it.
McDonald's.com.
I have .ca. I have it bookmarked. And if I go into general description of the game, whatever. Don't judge me. I think the dates here, by the look of it, is October 3rd to November.
What are your other bookmarked web pages? If you've got McDonald's.ca bookmarked,
Or boostogrande.com, howtobraidyourbush.com.
Oh my goodness.
Lemon Party,
What?
nothing.
What? What else do I have bookmarked? I have Apple bookmarked, Yahoo bookmarked.
Why do you have Apple bookmarked?
Google Maps,
Ask Jeeves.
Wikipedia, Google.
Why do you
Email.
hold on? Why do you have Google bookmarked? Aren't you using Chrome?
Just all comes in the favorites. Twitter.
So,
Well, X.
so you've never you don't know how to add a bookmark, do you? Or get rid of bookmarks?
These are, I don't know. I've had this computer for 10 years. Maybe I did add them at one point. I don't know.
I think these are all accidental bookmarks.
I think those are
all-
the stock bookmarks that come with it.
I don't know, but there's the ones that I have. I got McDonald's here.
So Geoff, you're taking Vegas?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Vegas in the 6 points. I don't know what to make of anything. Justin Herbert is incredible. His one mistake pass even ended in a touchdown. So he's incredible.
The game you love now has a new twist and a new additional way to play for even more prizes. Download the app and be ready to double play on October 3rd. Get ready to double play Coast to Coast Monopoly. Oh,
So is this the first time that you've seen it on the webpage?
this is the first time I've noticed they got the ad. They have one of those countdown calendars of the Monopoly Man. I'll send Pat I'll put it in our group thread or something. There's a
Good for you.
countdown calendar to how it's 7 days. So we are T minus 1 week. I wonder what double plays are. Oh boy.
Well, this means you'll have to remember your password for the app.
I have that figured out. I've got that fine now.
You figured out what your password was?
Yeah, I think I may have reset it.
You realize you can do that if you forget your password.
I'm sure I can. I'm sending you all the photo and just like it's so exciting. Double play. Maybe you get like open up.
I think this McDonald's Advent calendar sounds kind of sacrilegious. Blasphemous
Well,
even.
It's not really an advent calendar.
But the way you
just
just
a-
the way you just described it sounds like an Advent
It
calendar.
was just a point of reference I was making. Just like it starts in 7 days. People are hyped.
How many points do you have right now?
Not honestly, Jeffrey, not that many. Not that many because there was a stretch of a month and a half where I couldn't get into my app. So I'm currently at about 4,000 points, which is like nothing.
Paul?
Is it next Tuesday, Tim?
Yeah, so that's what 7 days. October 1st is Sunday. So yeah, the next time we convene this show will be opening day.
You
should order some. You should order some and have and turn your camera on and have an unboxing of like your newest.
Yeah, and that way
you know,
you'll be
the
able to
new
keep it
stickies
this year.
that you get.
We could do something like that.
There we go. Easy game. So Vegas for everyone besides Tim. I like your new strategy, Geoff, of not taking the Chargers every week.
Yeah, I don't know how long we can do this. I am more committed, Pat, to continuing shaving body parts or eliminating hair from my body than I am actually verbally picking against them. But we'll see where this goes.
I will say, if you do use a straight razor, be careful of your nipples if you're doing your chest.
I've never done anything like that.
No, you're not aerodynamically sound then, are you?
No, I mean I've never taken I'm not like Cam, who's like truly an orso bear. I'm not very hairy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Neither am I. That's why I need to shave the stuff that comes in, because it makes me look like I'm 12 years old.
As a hairy person, I will say that I just don't need to worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, see, I feel like I would be itchy when I get any hair.
If I was ever going to
really
be
itchy.
an Olympics, bobslayer, you wear one of those suits, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know if that would. I think if you had a ton of hair and you tried to put on one of those suits, I don't think that would be very comfortable, especially getting it off.
I don't know. Perhaps. I don't know.
Like, when was the last time you were in a wetsuit?
A very long time.
Like pre or post hair?
Post, like 20 years ago.
Like if you were super hairy, I feel like a
Not even
wetsuit
20 years
would just
ago.
like pull your hair
18
out.
years ago.
So you guys watched the Charger game closely or not at all?
Very
on the main
closely.
screen.
It was our main game.
Okay, so
that we were
I don't
watching.
mind Staley going for it. We should have gone for it. The play was insane. He also went for a 4th and 1 at the goal line, and they got a touchdown. So the decision making, for the most part, I thought was okay, despite him being an idiot. Tim, I need your opinion on this. And I was screaming. And then they scored a touchdown. It's 3rd and 6, incomplete pass. We get a 10-yard holding. Staley declines the penalty. It's like at the 38 or something. Declines the penalty, 4th and 6. He declines it. You know they're going for it. I assume he knew they were going for it. I still think you accept it. Jefferson scores like a 40-yard touchdown on the next play. 3rd and 16.
Yeah, you
He's
take
the
it.
call, you moron.
I agree. You make it 3rd and 16. If your opponent has any semblance of offense, and the Vikings do, yeah, you have to make it 3rd and 16.
What do you but by accepting it, you're like, well, I concede we'd give up at least a 10-yard play, and they'd for sure get it back to 4th and 6. You dumb.
Oh, Oh, we just
I
got
would have said something else.
we just got a text him that said that Aaron Rodgers is now
I
trash
thought-
talking the Jets from his couch.
Oh, he probably said something on
McAfee.
So round of Vegas, except for Tim, who's taking the Chargers -6, and he put them on the money line parlay. New England and Dallas is up next. The Cowboys are favored by 7 at home. 43.5 is the over-under. I will take Dallas and a nice rebound spot at home.
Agreed, and they're also on the money line parlay.
God. So this is the one we lose.
Dallas is not losing 2 games in a row, and I just don't think the Patriots can do offensively what Arizona was able to do last week in order to upset the Cowboys. It wasn't just that Arizona played good defense. It was that they were able to move the ball, and I don't think New England has that in them.
They got
So,
Pharaoh
I don't
Brown.
think-
What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Pharaoh Brown. They scored 15 points, 2 of which the Jets gave for free. They couldn't score against the Jets. They couldn't score against the Dolphins. They had trouble scoring against the Eagles. 20 is their high performance in terms of point total. And to cover this now, is Dallas really? Anyway, is Dallas really going to be held twice in a row to 16 points or fewer? It seems tough. I really think Dallas is the play here in Dallas.
Yeah, I like I said, I like Dallas as well, Jeff. It just comes down to, is Dallas going to beat themselves with terrible red zone offense and just a bunch of penalties? If not, I think that they cover it easily.
So you're both on Dallas?
Yeah.
My logic is so maybe silly, but it's so simple. Next week, Dallas plays at San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. They've ended their season twice in a row. This is a supreme look-ahead game. I will take back the touchdown with the New England Patriots here.
Okay. Sunday.
Close game.
Night football, Tim, your team is at home. Zoomer Zach, he's going to be eating some Tide Pods on primetime as 9.5-point dogs to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift. And the Kansas City Chiefs, 42.5 is the over-under right now. This really worked out well for Taylor Swift. She made that the highest rated game of the week last week. Chiefs and Bears, more than Sunday Night Football. Travis Kelce jersey sales went up 400% after last week. And now I think she has a concert movie coming out, and she gets to be on NBC on Sunday Night Football to promote that. Genius stuff, really.
Good timing.
Suspicious timing.
Interesting. I don't know.
This game is thing. Look, I've waited, I think, 12 years since my team has played on Sunday Night Football. I think it's been since the 2012 season was the last time the Jets were on Sunday Night Football. And I was so excited for us to make our return with Rodgers and a big game and an potential AFC championship clash. And I get nothing. Like, they show up. My team is completely dead before the whistle blows. They can't. We just watched the Chiefs score 1,000,000 points. The Chiefs only won by 8 against the Jaguars, but that's the only path to the Jets covering this game, is that it's a 17-9 type game, because they can't score with them, and the Chiefs are not going to turn it over. They're going to play very straight laced. They don't have to do a whole lot. The Chiefs are on the money line parlay. The Chiefs plus 9.5 is a freebie. I don't know. I don't understand how you can walk to the counter.
You don't get them -9. You don't get them plus 9.5. You have to take them -9.5.
9.5. Yeah, minus 9.5. I don't see how you can go to the counter and take the Jets getting not double digits. Like, what's wrong with you people? You're not watching what I'm watching? The team has no energy whatsoever because they know the quarterback can't play. What's the point? Like, the defense works hard and they played fine, but the offense can't. I mean, they bring in Trevor Siemian, who would be better than Zach, because Zach's terrible, but is nothing. Like, the whole season is just wrecked, and there's nothing. Like, Pat will tell you, he watched me watch the game last week. It was Patriots-Jets. I couldn't have been less invested for me in a Jets game. Like, whatever. It sucks that they're going to lose, but they're going to lose all these games because they're awful with him. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? How are the Chiefs not 14-point favorites the way that the Niners are against the Cardinals?
I think the
What are you
Jets
doing here?
I think the Jets cover this game, Jeff.
I agree with Tim. I'm surprised they're not 13-point favorites, which I guess, like, the degen NFL bettor who's been beaten up so much looks at that and says, oh, I thought it'd be 13. It's 9. They're trying to trick us. They know. Give me the 9. Nah, I'm going to take the Chiefs here. It's not really overthinking it. God forbid I have to chase a Sunday on something like this.
Wouldn't that be
I'll
the
chase my rider?
Would that be the ultimate kick in the nuts? You lose bets all day. You're like, finally, I can just bet on Patrick Mahomes to beat Zach Wilson to get all my money back, and something weird happens.
Yeah, and Pat, you're not even like when I say lose bets all day Sunday, that includes the golf. So we're rolling golf loss into football loss, and oh shit, here is Sunday night. Tim, before you burned yourself on Sunday, I felt bad for you. I watched your guys' show. You do always a bang up job, and you said it so sadly but true. And it just at this point, it's almost like I'm not naive enough to know. Obviously, playing quarterback is so hard. Getting a quarterback off the street seems impossible, and then succeeding, and how much goes into preparing for a game. But the best take I heard on the Jets was it's literally like someone is dying, and as an owner, you could like just let that person die, or maybe there is some like fancy treatment in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Like, do anything, but kick that guy off the team. And it's not his fault. He was supposed to be there to learn behind Aaron, to get time to marinate, to learn more, and he was thrown into this. It's not his fault, but Tim, you said it. Holding on to that guy would be like me holding on to a lottery ticket from 7 years ago that lost. It's dead. Why are you holding dead paper in your pocket?
Aaron Rodgers, speaking on the Pat McAfee show, said the Jets need to show more poise, Tim. He was referring to the sideline blowups. He said that the offense needs to, quote, grow up. He added, quote, it's more the side stuff that I don't like. Now, this goes completely against, I mean, he didn't say anything negative against Zach Wilson, but following the game, we read that quote from Robert Saleh last week where he said about Zach Wilson,
Fine.
He's fine.
Yeah. I'd like to know why Rodgers isn't on the sidelines.
Well, he probably got Achilles surgery.
It's okay. People that can be injured and have there's no reason he couldn't be with the team, traveling with the team on the sidelines.
I mean, the dude can't walk right now, I guess.
Yeah, it's more of he just had the surgery. We're still a couple, I don't know, I'd say maybe another week or two, and then that could be a legitimate
The
complaint.
locker room and chatting with, yeah, okay, fair enough. Let's give him a couple more weeks, but then he should be with the team.
I agree. And that'll be very telling. That'll be very telling to me if, like, say in week 8, if he's not even on the sidelines.
Yeah, like he doesn't get to pontificate as if he's not a part of the team, sort of thing, right?
No, but what he's saying is the sideline is bullshit. The situation sucks, but guys have to buy in, and you either want to fight this thing through or get the fuck out, I think is what he's trying to say from afar.
What he should be saying is that we can't keep doing what we're doing. Something has to change. If you continue to just run this back out game after game after game, it is necessarily going to fail. So, like, smarten up. You can't play Zach anymore. We went through this whole nonsense last year where the team mutinied. They got rid of him in terms of, like, not playing him anymore. They didn't even dress him. You can't play him.
At the same time, Tim, like,
play him anymore. You can't do it.
Why can't they just design a play that's an easy pitch and catch? Like,
I don't know, but you know what? These people get paid a ton of money to figure it out, and no one can do it. So you know what? Goodbye. We wish you luck. Good luck in Jacksonville or something, figuring it out, or wherever it is the heck you're going. Like, good luck, man. But like, you can't be here anymore. It's no good. We can't keep playing you. Sorry. It's nothing personal. You've been given multiple opportunities over multiple years with multiple coordinators. You got to go. Sorry. You're young. You have a whole life ahead of you. You can't be doing this for the Jets anymore, please.
So many moms to bang. Think about that.
Great. Like, he can go back up or third string somewhere else. He can go to Canada. Like it's not like his football dreams are over. He just can't be the quarterback of the New York Jets anymore.
So he's not better than Trevor Lawrence.
He's not better than anybody who's currently starting. Although Desmond Ritter is doing his utmost to make it like that they're neck and neck, but that's got more to do with Ritter than it does Zach. It's just it, and then I have to sit here and watch this on Sunday Night Football. Like,
Okay, when would Rodgers have gotten hurt if he didn't get hurt week 1? Because I watch your O-line, it's like, what, the guy would have made it to week 6?
I don't know. It would have happened at some point, and maybe it's a blessing it happened in week 1 and not like week 12. Because as bad as I feel about this season now, if they were like 11-1 and he tore his Achilles,
They were in your head. They were 16-0.
but, yes. But let's say they were in reality already like 11-1, and this happened. Like the pain that would cause would be so much more severe. So, I think I've gotten off lightly. Now I can spend all my time talking about how they would have been great and how they would have won the Super Bowl, and I don't have to put up any proof. It's like the best
Did
of
you
both.
send a text
That sounds
couple weeks
crazy,
ago
by the way.
willing Tua to hurt his Achilles or something, I heard?
Yeah, he said he didn't want. He said, well, he didn't wish that Tua blew out his Achilles. He just made mention to all of our Dolphins friends that, hey, I really hope that Tua doesn't blow out his Achilles in this game. Those were his comments about the
What
game.
a crazy thing to type to your friends who are Dolphin fans.
I hope none of the players in the NFL get hurt. It hurts. What I'm going through is no fun. I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else.
So
I
that
don't
was
wish this
that was the one comment that you wanted to make to our Dolphins friends. I sure hope Tua doesn't blow out his Achilles in this game. That's it. See you
It's
later.
It's
Big
not
gulps, huh?
fun.
Well, see you later.
I don't wish this on anybody. It really hurts to watch your quarterback get hurt like this, and see your season go down. I wish this on nobody. Nobody.
This was just like we were watching the Patriots. No, who was the Week 2 game with the Jets? Dallas, yeah. When Dak went back to pass, like, geez, I sure hope he doesn't blow out his knee on this drop back. It'd be
The turf in Dallas is awful.
with Brendan Cooks, be a shame if he was out for the season after that hit.
I don't think I said that.
These are the things that Tim says when people are playing the Jets. Although he's so defeated at this point, he's not complaining about every incomplete pass being pass interference.
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Like, what am I supposed to? It's like, that's no way out. There's no exit.
Oh, you're gonna be
Sarge,
hyped.
there's no exit. There's no exit.
Hyped when Zach Wilson gets hurt in this game. Tim Boyle comes in and they beat the Chiefs.
Like,
Apparently, Tim Boyle is Rodgers' best friend. It's the only reason he's there. So they never even. Zach was a developmental backup, hoping to learn, and Boyle was there because he's Rodgers' best friend. Looks like the Jets didn't actually have a backup quarterback on the roster.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie to you. This entire Jets strategy of just hiring and signing Aaron Rodgers' friends, not that great. Not a great move.
I mean, there was a range of outcomes where things could happen, and this happens to be in the far left tail of unfortunate outcomes. No doubt about it.
I think that
I
this
just
is going
got
to
no
be.
energy for the
I
team.
think
I
this
get
is going to be
energized.
like the Malik Willis game from last year with the Chiefs, where just for whatever reason the Jets are good in this game.
That would be really fun. That'd be a great way to end the day.
Not
Yeah,
for you. Not
I
for
mean,
you when
then-
you're chasing money.
No, well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm hoping it happens. I got my doubts.
I just mean like an entertaining primetime game. Like that's always fun.
if this game was week 7, it would be flexed by now.
I don't know. You wouldn't take Mahomes off TV.
Like, we're supposed to play the Raiders on Sunday Night Football in a few weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
that'll
that game
get
ain't
flexed.
happening.
Yeah, that game's not
Yeah, the
happening.
Chargers have the Bears like week 9 or something
Dude,
Sunday
that game-
night. There's no
that
way I
game-
get that game.
The Bears better win a couple games. If they do, you still might, because people still love Fields, and it's Chicago.
I don't think people are going to like Fields so much because I've heard that people don't like jerking off with aluminum foil around their hand.
Oy. Gross.
Maybe-
I think
maybe
that
if you had a great
flexing
big
starts
bush, it
week
would like
6
soften
this
it, but
year,
I don't
Tim.
know.
Yeah, and Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football are flexible, too, within range.
So Chargers, Jets getting the boot?
Maybe.
Look, any of these Jets games are flexible. Particularly given
Every
that
Jets game's getting flexed out for a Dolphins game. It's a good idea.
yeah, when the Dolphins can be, like, Dolphins Chiefs is in Munich. I bet you they wish they didn't have that game.
Wow. I forgot about the Tariq Hill return game is in Munich.
Yeah, like, that's unfortunate. That's a game we should have.
England's been hosting games forever, and they've never gotten anything a
Fred,
third
next-
as good as that.
Next year, Spain and Brazil are in line for games.
is
Like,
that-
are they really going to go to Oh, for games.
Is that actually happening next year, or is that just rumored to happen next year?
This is things that they're discussing. Nothing's for certain.
I'm going to Spain for a game would be great. We should go do that one live.
For Rio.
I don't know if I want to go to Rio. Spain's so much closer. It'd be such a long flight to Rio.
But Rio's in our time zone.
It is in our time zone. What do you like? How long do you think it would take to fly to Rio from here?
Probably 4.5 to Florida, and then like 4.5 from. So I'll say 9 hours.
Yeah, but there's no directs either.
How
So that
far
means
is Spain?
You get like 2 stopovers. Spain from here?
Probably Toronto.
4
You can probably
hours?
fly Toronto to Rio.
Yeah, but you have to fly from here to Toronto.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I think it's probably like a 9-hour flight, Toronto to Rio.
Yeah, you can fly to, like, I flew to Paris from here in 5 hours, I think, 6 hours, something like that.
Spain would be fun if they wanted to have
closer.
a game in Barcelona or Madrid. I'd go to that if we wanted to cover it live.
Me and the coin are on the Jets. Monday Night Football, Geno revenge game. Seahawks at Giants.
Oh, sorry, the Chiefs are. I did put them on the teaser. I'd mentioned that, right?
It's a money line. It's a money line parlay. Yes.
Yeah, they're on.
The Giants are a 1.5 favorite against the Seahawks. 47 is the over/under. I was kind of surprised by this. All of the talk about, I mean, a lot of it came from me, that when the Seahawks lost their tackles, they wouldn't be able to protect Geno. Their offensive line played better than it did week 1 somehow. So, I don't know. What am I missing with this game and why the Giants are favored? Is it the extra rest?
Yeah, I was wondering.
I was going to ask you that question. Why are the Giants favored in this game? How are the Seahawks not favored?
Are we all asking the same question?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Is this one just really easy, or are we just all going to lose money on this game?
I mean, I have them as the last part of my money line parlay.
Who did the Giants lose to in week 2 again?
They
beat Arizona. They came back on
million.
them.
Oh, then last week. Oh yeah, San Fran. I don't know. I'm picking Seattle, but not to take from Cam Stewart. I could easily get to Monday and be on the other side here. This is such a wishy-washy Seattle pick for me. I
think, yeah, we're just like, even to shout out DVOA here, Tim. The Giants are 31st. Seattle's 11th, 13th.
It's a huge gap. I don't know. Yeah.
But the Giants did beat Arizona, who's 10th, so who knows? The coin's taking the Giants. Like, the Giants need to get off the mat here. I know that they're 1-2, but this wouldn't be a good one to lose.
I know why the Giants played on Thursday last week.
Okay.
Because apparently their fans complain that they've played too much on Jewish holidays over the last few years.
Is that actually true?
Apparently, yeah. I don't know. Saw it in the Post.
The New York Post, or is this like a secret pamphlet that we don't get?
No, it's not the Rumble Post. It's the New York Post.
Oh, I was going to say it was a Jewish-only newspaper where you saw this stuff, but...
No, it's not the Jerusalem Post.
The Jerusalem Post.
To be owned by Conrad Black.
That's a real thing?
It? Oh, yeah. It's a major world newspaper. I mean,
yeah. It's like the National Post, but in Jerusalem. I believe it's like a comparable newspaper.
But why did Conrad
sort of
Black
a right
own
of
it?
center? It was sort of a right of center newspaper.
That's why he owned it? Why does he own the Jerusalem Post, or did own the Jerusalem Post?
Because he owned a bunch of newspapers. Like, he owned the National Post. He owned that. He owned like 4 or 5 newspapers.
Hey, we used to work for a guy whose dad owned all the newspapers.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Cam West. Yeah, that was huge.
Unfortunately, people stopped reading the newspaper, so it's a tough scene. All right, that's it. Let's do super locks for the week. I was thinking about locking in Cleveland, but I don't know. I'm a little bit scared, I suppose, of Baltimore. I mean, they're just kind of looking at it. They're getting to the quarterback. I don't know if I want to put Watson beat me up last week, but I don't know if he can do that 2 weeks in a row, even if against a defense that's a little bit softer. So I'm going to take a second to think about this. Geoff, where are you going with your super lock? He's texting. Geoff, or Tim.
No, I'm looking at the game sheet. I'm looking at the full game sheet. Games, no text. I don't know. I could use the second. What did I say? I'm trying to remember what games I said I might super lock. Cleveland was one of them, like you, Pat. Indy was one of them.
I'm going to lock in, Tim, Philadelphia -8 because I think that line is off by at least 4 points.
I mean, that makes sense from what you said on Sunday. I understand that.
Who are you taking? You're
What's our number with Denver? 3?
3, yeah.
This is psychotic. I'll take Denver. I don't even know what I just did. That's how you lose money, people.
Tim, you realize you have to make one of these picks, right?
Well, sorry, Kansas City.
Kansas City -9.5 is your super lock?
Yeah.
All right. I will take Philadelphia in Survivor. I'm going to keep going until I lose, so maybe it'll be this week, and I'll lose my super lock, I'll lose my Survivor, all in one shebang. Although it worked for me last week. San Francisco. It's good to go. Your free money line parlay is Philly, Chargers, Dallas, Kansas City, and Seattle?
Yep. Pays +487.
And I literally picked Denver because of fear. Like, the players on Chicago probably figure if we lose, this coach is gone. On Denver, it's like this guy's going to kill us, and he's not going anywhere. So fear fact, like afraid of their dad more will have them play better. That's my logic, Denver. That's why you come here for the insight, boys.
He should get out of town while the getting's good. It's only going to get worse in Denver. It's not going to get better.
What if they get Caleb Williams?
That would help, but I kind of feel like
is this going to be are we going to roll this into like next year with Sean Payton and you?
I haven't decided yet. I don't know. I can't predict these things in advance.
And it's rude of me to like put a timeline on you and a rival. Like, of all people, I should not be asking for a timeline
Like
on
it ends
you in a rivalry, but I don't know. This one,
Yeah, it ends when it ends. I don't know. It might be after one solid season of humiliation and drubbing that I feel like, I got the upper hand on this one. It's good enough to walk away on top.
So the League Safe Pat Mayo Experience question of the week. Again, you can download the League Safe app. You can get that link directly on Apple or Android down in the description right now. Free to play. It's what number will be higher on Monday Night Football. It's not. Nah, I'm going to say that. But DK Metcalf and Lockett receiving yards. Ken Walker and Charbonnet rushing yards, Waller and Paris Campbell receiving yards, or Breda and Daniel Jones rushing yards. I feel like this one's an easy one.
First one.
Yeah.
First one.
But I feel like this is one you'd want to switch if you were losing going into it.
To what, though?
Waller.
Well, it's one of these things.
Other receiving yards one, the Paris Campbell one, I guess.
Yeah,
Waller
dude,
and
whatever,
Campbell, yeah.
whatever, or how many ever points that you need, just take the one that's going to give you the most points. Like, if you can't win with the pick that you have because you know everyone else has it, then you would have to switch your pick, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't though, would you? Because you wouldn't want to have
No,
a
I
wrong
would.
pick. No, you wouldn't.
No, I don't care about having wrong. I don't care about having wrong picks.
I don't know.
Please.
It feels like you'd be too nervous to use the app to change your pick.
I change things all the time. I use the app to change Stafford out from Burrow last night.
Who had the better game?
That's a good question.
Burrow threw a touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, Burrow. So did Rob.
No, Mixon ran it in.
The better day was actually had by Stafford.
So you
There
made
you have
the
it.
you made the right call.
I did 10 points versus 6 points.
Did you win?
Oh my God, did I not win? My team, despite having decent players, is so bad and just has no hope of getting better. So that's fun.
I've had a lot of people try to ask me to trade for Puka.
I bet they did. I don't even have the energy. Honestly, after what happened on that first Monday night game, my energy level for the season is down. I just can't. I can't fake it, and I just can't get it back. Like it's like someone canceling Christmas on you on Christmas morning, and like then telling you to stay in the holiday spirit for dinner. Like, can't do that.
Maybe you can go talk to your friends at the alcohol-free pub, and maybe they'll just get your spirits back up.
Go ahead and keep mocking that idea. You go right ahead if you feel like a big man making fun of alcohol-free spaces. But I actually think it's a really smart idea.
Like I say, it sounds like you're going to a children's clubhouse. Or as Geoff said, like an arcade.
Saying things like that. Keep saying things like that.
I am continuing to say things like that.
You're going to end up getting votes saying things like that.
Really? Do you think that the viewers of
Yes.
the Pat Mayo Experience are going to be like, you know what, Pat said a lot of things, but this thing about his weirdos are going to congregate at alcohol-free spaces that are fake bars, that's the one that's going to put Pat over the edge.
I suspect there is a contingent. I hope they don't. If they feel like that, they should vote for Geoff. Yes, because Pat is basically trying to run a campaign for Geoff.
What are you talking about? I spent the first 20 minutes of the show ragging Geoff. You just don't see. You only see what you want to see. You only hear what you want to hear.
Like last week when you asked me a question and I tried to answer it and you jumped down my throat and said, "Excuse me, Geoff."
Yeah, well, that's just fun. That's just fun to do.
Okay.
But yeah, making stuff up. Like I heard someone say this, and when we ask you, you can never tell us who said it. You're just making it up.
No, I just don't remember who. Like the onion ring thing. It was Cam who made that.
Sure,
claim.
but when you say that lots of people are saying this, and I ask you to name one person who said it, and you can never name a person because it's you who said it.
Because if I'm seeing stuff on Twitter, I don't know.
That's not real life.
Okay, but there's still people saying it. And if
No,
I'm seeing
it's not. Then
through,
you need to remember who says this, so you can direct me to it. Because I still don't believe that you see it. It's like when you think that what you see on TikTok is real life. And not performance art.
Most of it is performance art, but not all of it.
Then how come you always tell us about these things that you see on TikTok and then pretend this is what people are doing?
Just like American Ninja Warrior is all performance art as far as you're concerned, and all these cooking shows are like that, I'm sure. And Survivor.
You mean you think that reality shows aren't produced? No, Tim.
I think there's varying degrees of how much production.
Well, Survivor is technically a game show, so it'd be against the law to rig that. But anything that's not technically a game show, by law, you can rig and change the rules halfway through.
I don't think American Ninja Warrior is rigged.
Oh, that's completely set up. Just because you can't do those things doesn't mean it's not real.
No, not only can I not do them, 99% of the populace couldn't do them.
Completely agree. I find that's the line that you'll draw. That is the one.
Those people are extremely athletic.
You said that you could do parkour.
I think I could try like low-level parkour.
Okay, well, you know what? That is something, Geoff, can we do that? Do you think that's something that Tim could do? He can't make a phone call, but he can do low-level parkour. Is that something that we can film you trying to do?
I don't think he could do it.
No, of course not. He once tried to jump on the golf course and got 0 inches off the ground.
Got a couple inches.
You didn't. You went on your toes.
No, I was up. I was in the air.
It sounds dangerous.
Yeah, of course it is.
Like we've seen your 12-second 40 time. Like I don't know if you're like doing any
Stop
sort
it.
of
Stop
parkour.
it.
You got to be
Stop.
moving quick to
don't
to get over.
Don't lie about his
obstacle.
7:14 40 time.
Can't do that. I can't do Heelys. I can't do all kinds of stuff apparently.
Well, you can't do Heelys. You don't own those shoes with heels in them. And we said that you could do that. That was the one thing that we said you could do because it was made for like non-athletic people who barely move.
Well, I'm part of that.
Part of the Heely?
I move.
I was gonna say part of it.
I move. I would non-athletic, but I do move.
Well, how many steps you got in today?
I don't know because my watch is over on the charger right now.
What would you guess?
Hold on, my phone will tell me. Pull up the app here on my phone. This is more step counting that people demand. I am at 3,800 steps, but I burned over my 500 calories from moving. I've burned over my exercise amount. I've stood for over 6 hours today.
You burned over 500 calories from less than 4,000 steps? I played a round of golf and didn't burn 500 calories today.
Well, I'm a much larger person.
Still, that seems unfair. Because I have like 15,000 steps today.
Fair enough, but like I only know this number's correct because a friend of ours helped me set up all the metrics.
Geoff,
I put this in.
Jeff, how many steps you got in today?
I walked 18 holes this morning, so bigly, but I don't wear one of those thingies.
Your
Yeah,
phone
so
would
probably like
still tell you.
probably like 12,000 steps in and around there.
Well, how come you get credit for 15,000 steps in a round of golf, but Jeff only gets 12,000?
I assume Geoff is hitting it down the middle. He's not playing army golf or whack curse like I am.
Interesting. All right. Well, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I'll be back with Cam and Rob Wednesday evening for the Best Bet Show, where I am on a 6-game losing streak. 0-3 back-to-back weeks. Yeah, I'm a solid 1-8 to start the season on the Best Bet Show, Geoff. So I might have
Maybe
to.
you should start with your bronze first to shake up the Mo. Like Jeff's going to shave his head. Maybe you need to shake up the order. Do your silver first. Just you. Something to break up the Mo.
No. You want to start producing the show? You gonna respond?
Well, I think my response is
you
no.
You got more. You got more notes for the show?
It's an idea. It's an idea.
Well, how about
that's
this?
for free.
How about just like the people who like to tell me how to produce the show? Why don't you start your own fucking show and see if anyone watches?
I'm not telling you what to do.
It sounds
I'm
like
just
you are
saying
telling me what to do.
here's an idea.
You want to be
which
you
pay-
want to be a listed producer?
Oh, you know
Start
what? It's worth
producing
to
stuff.
pay. I come up with ideas on occasion.
You did.
that are
You
useful.
had a good idea on Sunday's show. I will give you
Like
that.
occasionally I have good ideas,
Start
but I'm
with
not
the
saying
silver picks. What's wrong
that
with
would be
you?
interesting.
Oh yeah, that'd be super fucking helpful for the show. Thanks. Great idea.
Fun.
We'll move on to the next one.
Introduce a little, as the Joker says, introduce a little anarchy in your life.
Tim, will you ever make a call for us?
I said I will make a call if I don't have to put the person on speaker.
Why? I don't understand that part of it because that's the only way that we
Because
can
I'm not-
confirm that you're doing it.
Well, then on
Tim-
Sunday nights you would know because you could dial the phone for me and hand.
Yeah, but Sunday
Yeah, but
is live. He's explained this to you. What don't you get? It is way more. Taking that call live is way more invasive than him hearing the call and editing it properly, where we block out the voice and an address.
I'd be happy to record it at the studio then, where he could block it out.
You're
if-
watching a full day of football. He doesn't want to make a vignette for you.
You know what? I guess it's not going to happen. It's fine.
Yeah, but
So,
dude, like
it's not.
you're being so difficult because you're afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glove Guy could watch this show and like show up to your house because you're gonna have to.
Yeah, you'll have
reveal
to say your address on air. You realize that, right? If we do
No,
it
I
live.
won't.
Yes, you will.
I would order pickup.
What's that?
Order it for pickup.
Oh, I see. You're going to order. Okay, then yes, we will do that live on the show then. Order it for pickup.
Yeah.
You're inconveniencing
speakerphone.
yourself more.
No, I almost always order for pickup.
Well, it
Why?
depends. If you're out and about and you're going home, sure. But what do you mean you always order pickup?
99% of the time, if I order for pickup.
Well,
I go out-
but you can't order pickup. You can't make a phone call.
But I have in the past had to do it or order online if the app is easy to navigate, like
But
Domino's.
doesn't that require extra elevator rides for you?
It's annoying, but at the same time, I would rather be the person going to get my food rather than give someone my address and have to wait for when they show up. And then there's the anxiety of sitting around your wondering, like, I can't use the washroom right now because what if somebody knocks on the door? I can't, do this. Someone might knock on the door. There's all kinds of things I feel like I'm restricted by until that person shows up. And so to have control of the situation, I need to go out to get that stuff so that I am in charge here, not the person who's coming. It's not like it's their fault. I don't know when they're coming. If I need to use the washroom, I can't very well start using the washroom and then the door gets knocked on. Or, I can't take a shower. I feel like I need to take a shower for some reason or start some laundry because I'm not going to be in the middle of a laundry run while somebody knocks on my door.
You have
dishwasher.
laundry. You hold on. You have laundry in your suite.
But I don't want to start the laundry. It takes me like a few minutes to sort everything out of my basket and make sure I put
you could stop. You could stop and answer the door, right? You could go back to that.
I don't want to do that. I don't. When I start, I want to start it and I want to see it through. Sort of thing. I don't want to.
I'm trying to figure out whether this is real or you're just fucking so cheap you won't pay a delivery fee.
No, it's
I
not
think
just
that. I think that it's not
I also
just. It's
don't-
not just that.
No, it's not
because
just that.
the
I
other
also
because
don't like-
the other
And a
reason
tip.
the
And a
other
tip.
reasons that you have given are completely fucking insane.
I mean, I also don't like a delivery fee. I will admit that. I have no problem admitting that. But I feel like once you put an order and someone's coming to your house, you are limited in the things you can do until they show up to your house.
But you don't do
'Cause
anything.
you need to be available. You need to be available for the call. Like I would like not want my mother to call me on the phone because if she called, I'd say, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. There's pizza. Honestly, heavens, that's what I would say. Because I would not want to have to break up the conversation unnaturally because someone knocked on the door, or leave her on speaker while I'm ordering the pizza. Because like once the pizza gets here, it's game time. I'm going to eat. So I would not want to answer my phone and not want to get into a text conversation that I'd have to break stride on, or any number of things. I would rather just
Text conversation.
get what I need to go get.
Text conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I want to hear from the people who agree with Tim on this one, please. I need to hear to see. There's got to be other people out there, and you can go to them to the non-alcoholic bar and have the best time ever, and never order anything because it's too stressful to do. But
When the weather's really, really bad, like it's a snowstorm, then fine. Then I don't want to go out.
In summary, you basically just said I am incapable of multitasking.
Well, it's just I want to make sure that when that person comes, I am able to conduct the transaction
You
right
make
away.
it sound like if you order food, you wait by the front door in a straight jacket.
No, but it's like I'm paying my full attention to making sure I'm available for the call and be able to get there. Anyway, I just feel like
why don't you just have them leave it?
attention from
Why don't you do what
can do
every
things on
other
my-
person alive does and just have them leave it outside your door?
No, how am I going to pay them?
Because you've already paid.
No, I don't do that. I pay at the door.
Why do you make?
I'm not putting my card information in the internet like that on their website. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. I'll pay when they arrive. I usually use the cash on.
I want us to go to a cashless society just so you have to put your credit card online.
I don't want to do it.
Imagine not paying with your credit card and getting the points.
I can pay with the credit card at the door.
You don't.
I have.
You don't.
But it's very rare that I order in. I'd rather go out. It's also something for me to do.
But you just said you had tons of things to do. But going out to pickup is something to do?
Yes, I can put a podcast on, and then I'm in control of my schedule.
No, I'm not against pickup. There's a lot of times I'll do pickup, but the scenarios that you have given here, you're afraid to call your mom when food's 20 minutes away. Like,
She
what
calls
the fuck
and
is going on?
say, "I'm sorry, I'll call you back. I got food coming."
And
100% is what I would say.
And she takes that as like, well, that's a very normal thing to do.
I don't know.
Yeah, but she thinks the food's at the door, or you're like, she doesn't know the food's still 15 minutes away and you can't talk to her.
I don't know. I don't like to be on someone else's schedule if I can help it. I like to be on my own
This
schedule.
is why you should be using one of the delivery apps, because then you can just see it on your phone where they are. It would make things this would solve all of your problems.
I get it, but I also have no trouble. Like, I don't have kids. So I understand why ordering in is far more convenient for you all. But it's just me.
Ordering in is far more
it's
convenient for everybody. You realize that, right?
There's a level of convenience. It's more convenient for you than me because there are far more encumbrances on you just getting up and getting in the car and going. There are more
but don't I have more problems getting to the door to pay than you do?
Yes, but the leaving of the
Think
house
about the
is
anxiety of that.
You aren't feeling any anxiety. I'm aware that you're trying to mock me here.
Yeah, you can just.
I'm just saying. I think I'm taking a very reasonable position.
A reasonable position that you can't take a phone call when there's a delivery driver on the way to you?
No.
Because they might show up? What do you know about call
They
waiting?
might show up. When you called me that Uber that time, I went outside immediately and started waiting. Immediately, because I want to miss it.
I sent you the link to track the car.
Yeah, but I just wanted to be outside to be ready. Anyway, I think a lot of more people, to avoid costly fees and also to be in control of the situation, I'm more pro pickup than delivery when possible.
How many people under the age of 70 you think are afraid of putting their credit card details online these days? Like my mom is over 70 and she's got all of that all set up, online banking, all of that.
Yeah, because her life is so much more convenient.
Yeah. They're not going to steal from you, Tim. There's lots of other people that they would prefer to steal off of that are probably considerably wealthier. Not that you're poor.
I believe it. No, I believe it.
What's that?
Anyway,
Tim can't do delivery. He might get an email from a Nigerian prince.
Yeah, but you'd be too cheap to give him the money anyway. So what's the difference? You just say too cheap to get delivery fees. That's easy.
not just to no, it's not just that. That is
You,
a
like you must be a dirt low tip or two on delivery.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But you're
20
still tipping on like 1984
Oh,
standards, right?
Cust is a keep the change kind of guy. It's 1884. It's a 20. You keep the change on that one, pal.
yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh man. You're lucky this is 3 hours into the show because you just lost.
Some
See,
man of the people.
perhaps like Geoff mentioned the last time, perhaps the strategy is to hold back to the last 10 minutes when nobody's listening anyway.
That's a good idea, actually. That is very savvy. But we should probably wrap this up. So I do want to thank Paul and Geoff and Tim Undercust
Tim and Cust.
Not my name.
for being on the show. Everyone's above 500 or above this deep into the season.
I like it.
It's not bad. We owed people a 3-hour show because we've been pretty brief the past few. And now it's week 4, Geoff. We have to weed out those people who aren't going to be here all season long.
I feel like there's really only one question left to ask at this point.
We're going to do Stonehenge again?
No, we're not going to do Stonehenge.
Is a Stonehenge mole that's in danger of being trampled by a dwarf. It's your job to not be as confused as him. I haven't watched that in like 5 years. I feel like I might go home and watch that tonight. Everyone should just go watch Spinal Tap.
Such a great picture.
What would you say the percentage of people who've seen that movie now is? Like 35, our age and below?
10%.
I'd say it's way lower than that.
Really?
I don't think it's on any streaming services either.
I don't know.
Like that
I
feels
really don't know.
That feels like a movie I'll have to go illegally go to Pirate Bay and go get.
Maybe. I don't know. This is Spinal Tap. Go see it, folks.
I would give my endorsement of that. Keep the change on that one, too. That's a free tip for you from Cust. Smash the like while you're here. Sub to Mayo Media Network. And catch us the rest of the week. And go check out that Ryder Cup show. Let's win some money this week, all right? I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience. Experience.